What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live again with another great show. This one's going to be a whole lot more interactive and exciting. Why? Because we're doing a panel, not just for the normal panelists, but for you. You, the subscriber, everyone joining in on this stream right now will have the opportunity to join us on the conversation. We have a few of our heavy hitters that's going to be joining us already in the room. We got Reason. What's up, Reason? What's going on with you, man?
What's good, homie? Just here, ready for this. Let's go.
Let's do it. We're going to be bringing in quite a few people, seeing what they have to say. I'm going to be very interested in what your thoughts will be about some of the things that they're saying. So without further ado, guys, this is your opportunity. If you ever wanted to be a part of the show, this is your time to come on, talk your talk, give us your thoughts, give us why you think this, that, and the other should happen, shouldn't happen, why I'm wrong, why I'm right, why Reason's wrong, why Reason's right, why EM's wrong, and why EM's wrong. Just all the good stuff, man. It is what it is, man. So this is your opportunity. I'm going to continue to drop the link down below. Now, there are rules, guys. If you're going to be on camera, make sure that your background is children friendly. So we can't have people, rolling up in the background. We can't have people doing extra ordinary things that wouldn't be very child friendly. Let's just put it like that. All right. I wouldn't have a problem, but at the end of the day, to each his own. But we want to make sure that we don't get the stream shut down and that we maintain a high level of viewership here at TDPHINSTALK. We already got 50 people in the building. Y'all hit that like button on your way in. We only got 14 likes. Let's punch that like button. All right. So I'm going to keep dropping the link for all you because I never get it. We always have a lot of people arguing in the comment section, talking about how I'm wrong or Reason's wrong or different people are wrong, X, Y, and Z. But for some reason, when we have moments like this, sometimes they never want to show up. They never show up. So once again, here's your opportunity. The link is already posted in the comment section. You can join this conversation if you like to, all right? Ooh, Finsanity 5 in the building. What's up, girl? What's going on? That's what's up, man. But Reason, what we're going to be talking about, I think, on this stream, I thought about it. Hold on. Oh, I think we got the homie backstage. Hold on.
Ooh, yeah.
Let me see. No. What's up, Shake Money?
It was good, homie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm great, man. You good?
Yeah, man. Everything is good, brother.
That's what's up, man. Talk to us, man. What's your thoughts, man? What's going on with the Dolphins?
Oh, man, I'm excited, man. To be honest with you, this is the first year that Flores has a whole offseason to evaluate his talent. And the same thing because they brought in McKenzie and the other guy a month before the draft. So now they have a whole offseason to evaluate everything, and he already knows what he wants. You know what I mean? Last year he had to evaluate the talent that he had and the draft in 1 month. You know what I mean? That's hard to do.
True.
So I think it's going to be we're going to hit the ground running this year.
So what's your thoughts, though, about the draft that's coming up? You have any thoughts on what you think might actually happen?
I'm hoping if this is my thoughts, my vision, all right? I like them to draft Tua at 5. Stay put, though. You know what I mean? If he lands at 5, then we take him at 5. And then next year, Brian Fitzpatrick will sit, and then him and Rosen will have a competition. And I think I'm hoping that. Listen, let me finish. I'm hoping that Tua beats him out, but it's going to be so close that Rosen brings some draft capital our way, because he'll improve that greatly. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
That's fair, man.
Shake Money, it's a pleasure, homie.
Yeah,
what's
up,
good,
buddy?
homie?
I don't think we've interacted. What's good, man?
Yeah, I know, right?
Man, Shake Money, it ain't no pleasure. They just happy you talk about Tua. That's all.
So let me drop some info quick. A guy I've talked about on here. He's a legitimate he's a legitimate reporter. His name's Benjamin Albright. A couple nights ago, a story broke from a former football player, former Canes player, former NFL player, who's now a radio host, Dan Celio, and he tried to break that we are discussing with the Redskins over the number 2 pick. Now, he's the same guy who also he broke the Burrow thing about how we wanted Burrow. Anyways, Benjamin Albright came out flat out and said, from who I've talked to, my sources, cannot confirm that they're talking with the Redskins. So as far as he's concerned, that hasn't happened. But he did confirm that we have had numerous conversations with the Detroit Lions over the number 3.
Yeah.
So
hold on.
I mean, this thing's turning.
We've had conversations with the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Lions picked number 3.
I've heard that too. That to me, the Lions
froze on us.
I think the Lions chatter has been the most consistent out of all of them. I think. Go ahead.
The Lions are at what number?
3.
3. Oh, they're
going. See, this is why I've told people this is the team that I've said since this happened, since the picks were locked in. This is the team to watch, and this is why I'm telling you all this. Because if they make a deal with the Dolphins, hypothetically, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they make a deal with the Dolphins, think about it from their perspective. They can not only add capital, but they're targeting Okudah or Derek Brown. That's pretty much Okudah's number 1. If they move back to 5th, they can add capital and they can add Okudah. So that's why it makes more sense. Now, I don't think the Chargers are going to be moving up. I've said this from day one. I'll stick to it. Chargers are infatuated with Herbert. Another thing to watch out right now that's going on, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk was on Dan Patrick's show, and Joe Burrow's tune has changed. Joe Burrow is no longer about whoever's going to pay me the most. His tune and his dad's tune have changed to whoever drafts me, I want them to be concerned with winning. Now, this has stemmed from he is working out with Carson Palmer and TJ Houshmandzadeh right now. They are the ones that are getting him prepped for the NFL level, and they have both told him and been in his ear, and Carson Palmer has come out publicly that he doesn't believe Mike Brown and the Bengals are concerned with winning. So
yes, they just want about the money.
Because they make money every year, even though they suck. They turn a good profit every year. So the whole thing that's turning into that now is Mike Florio did say, I don't like spreading rumors, but you can take this one to the bank. That's the exact quote. Stephen Ross wants Joe Burrow. So where this is going with this is how I see this working out. Either he's going to get drafted by Mike Brown and told suck it up, or sit for a year and re-enter the draft, which I think he's going to have to show up because he'll be hated in his own hometown. Or
Ross going to get his guy.
Or I think they're going to work with another team, and that other team is going to draft Justin Herbert, and it's going to be an Eli Rivers thing because Zach Taylor and that Bengals staff was not happy that Joe Burrow did not go to the Senior Bowl because he originally said he was going to go, and they wanted a first-hand look at him, and they got that with Herbert instead. And as we all know, TD, I shared the videos in the chat, they came away enamored with Herbert's skill set. Like I said, a bunch of teams were going to after the Senior Bowl and the Combine. It's only going to go up. So
okay, hold on, Reason. Let's slow down for a second, because I think what you're saying right now, we need to dissect it a little more. Because I know what you're saying, because I've been following a similar situation, but I promise you're probably explaining it a lot more eloquent than I would. So I want you to back up for a second for the people who heard you, but they didn't soak in what we're saying. Let's take Herbert out of the picture. Yeah. Everything you said before that about Ross wanting Burrow and us moving up, how does that translate in us possibly getting Burrow?
What do you mean? What would we have to give up?
What would we? Well, what I'm saying, like, if Ross wants Burrow,
okay, I think the only way
are we trying to trade to number 1, or I mean, how is that going to happen?
Well, I think
that's only a Burrow slips.
Yeah, I think that's only if Burrow slips, but I think might turn into an Eli. I mentioned this months ago in our chat. Remember, I said watch out for a possible Eli situation because they're not winners. So what I think might happen, this is what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to want draft picks, brother. Like, I don't think they're just going to trade the number 1. I think what they're going to want to do is draft Burrow, and then they're going to want to trade him for their secondary option, which in this case would be Herbert. They want to still the Bengals. It's going to be a draft day trade. That's
why would they trade a player straight? Well, they got to get more than just that, because they can just draft
Herbert and picks is what I mean. But I'm saying their focus won't be move the number one. Their focus would be draft Burrow. So now we have the asset. Now if we're going to move them, we move the asset. We don't just move number one.
So you're seeing a case,
guarantee that quarterback, right?
So you're seeing a case of Miami drafting Herbert for that swap.
Whoever want, like the Chargers. I told EM, I talked about the team to watch for me is the Panthers, because they added Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, and I could see them trying to move the farm to bring that guy into that system. But Burrow, if you break it down, Burrow, if he's smart and they draft him, he won't hold out, because they run a West Coast offense, and at LSU he ran a Saints hybrid LSU offense. A Saints West Coast offense. So he's got weapons if AJ resigns and the receivers. I think personally, if he's going to be moved, you're not going to see the number one pick get traded. You're going to see him get traded after he's been drafted, like Eli Manning.
I don't see that, man. I don't necessarily agree. As far as the Stephen Ross, reports. Mike Flores was the only one that's reported that. I haven't heard that from, and not that I'm plugged into every NFL source, but I haven't heard that story reported by anybody else that I follow. I mean, they've been emphatic. No, we havened heard that. And
we heard the Burrow thing a couple weeks ago, right? We heard that Burrow thing.
We did hear it once.
If I could say something real quick.
This Florio interview that I'm talking about is only from a couple days ago. It's not from a couple weeks ago.
Right, but
when I say something real quick, hold on, let me say something real quick. The only thing that gets me about that Florio was the first one that say after we lost to Baltimore, multiple people, agents said that multiple people wanted out of Miami, and that came out to not to be true. You know what I mean? So I watch Florio every day, and he was the one who reported that everybody wanted out of Miami after that.
Was he the mutiny guy?
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was the one. He was the one who started says, "Hey, multiple people called the Dolphins saying they want out of Miami after the Baltimore loss." He was the only one that was saying that, and it spread like wildfire, just like it is now. And last year people said, Stephen Ross was pounding the table for
Lamar Jackson,
and that came out not to be true. So there's a lot. Plus, I think
the reason why I believe the Burrow connection is because last weekend Ross was straight up asked about Tua, and he said that he really likes Tua, but he straight out said, "I'm concerned about his injury history, but I leave that up to the coaches and the general manager."
But what is that saying? Everybody's concerned.
Everyone's concerned.
I'm just teasing, man.
Well, the reason why is because Monday. EM, I was wrong. The checkup wasn't this Friday that passed. The checkup is tomorrow. And tomorrow, after Tua's medical, we should know whether the pro day is happening by the end of tomorrow. And if the pro day is happening, it's going to be going up.
I think this whole Stephen Ross report, I think it's smoke for the most part, and I could be totally wrong. Let me preface everything by saying I could be totally wrong. Okay, he could very well might like Burrow, but I look at the consistent reports. The consistent reports that have been coming out last year that carried over to this year. When I don't think, to my knowledge, I haven't seen our staff front office, scouting. Showing up every week, 2-3 times out of the month at an LSU game scouting Joe Burrow. They've all been scouting Tua. Yeah. So I'm going by, and again.
Are you really surprised? Because obviously all these owners who don't study the game, who don't get in the film room, every owner is probably enamored with Joe Burrow in the season he just had right now.
Right. But I think it's just me personally now. I can be totally wrong. I think the fact, if this story is true, and he told Mike Florio, "I want Joe Burrow," is to drive down the price with the Detroit Lions sitting there at 3. And this report about us trading up, I think it's all a leverage game. They're trying to.
Well, I trust Benjamin Albright is one of the people I trust the most, and so I trust him more than Florio. So when he says what he says about the Detroit pick, and at the same turn he shoots down the rumor that we're talking with the Redskins, I believe that.
I have heard everybody that I follow have been consistent about these Detroit Lion conversations.
I think they're talking to I think Detroit's talking to a bunch of teams, not just us.
Yeah, I agree.
And
they should.
Yeah. This is gonna be the most I mean, this is gonna be a wild draft right here, because I'm gonna be honest, man. Nobody really knows. Just a lot of speculation, a lot of people with good sources or not good sources, a lot of he likes this guy, but the front office doesn't, or X, Y, and Z. Listen, guys, let me help people understand where we stand right now. This is my take on the quarterback draft prospects, okay? The Miami Dolphins would consider taking Tua Tagovailoa at 5. They're just not sure if they can get over the medical, but it's still not ruled out. But there has been no solid reports that they'll move up and get him. That's just all speculation, just because they hear they're talking with the team and this and that. Next quarterback, the Miami Dolphins. Joe Burrow, for instance. This is recent information. There's been no factual information behind the moving up for Joe Burrow. I'm not disputing the fact that Stephen Ross loves Joe Burrow, but who doesn't? You know, like these gentlemen just said with the season he just had. I'm just saying, and I get that
right.
too. I get that too. If you don't, it's just with the season that you just had in big games. Yeah. It's easy for anyone to say.
I agree.
He's an option. He's the darling of this draft, TD. And
it should be based off what the season he had. Well, I gotta give.
Then you move along and you go Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, a guy that the Miami Dolphins would consider in a late first round pick. This is where I stand. In a late first round pick, they would consider him, but they're not going to consider him at number 5. But then you have Jordan Love, who another person who's been rumored a lot that they would consider in a mid-round pick, but they're not good with going number 5 overall with the guy like that. But if Burrow or Tua was gone, or Tua, they just didn't want to take the chance. I think Jordan Love will be a later option in the first round. Maybe that Pittsburgh pick, but we don't know if he'll still be on the board. That's the dilemma that all these quarterback needy teams have right now. They can't say outside of Joe Burrow when anyone is going to go on that board. That's the issue everybody's running into. You don't know when Tua's going to go, even though it's speculated 5 to the Dolphins, or if somebody's going to move up to leapfrog them, or we move up. You don't know when Herbert's going to go. You don't know when Love's going to go. And that's the trick right now, because if a team knows the guy that they want, it could be Love, it could be Herbert, it could be Tua, it could be whoever. If they know the guy they want, they still not in the safety because they don't know when that guy is going to go. So this is where the tricks of the move up, the move down. Right. I will tell you this: there will be some moving up and down in this draft with some teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I even think I think probably this will be, as far as movement, teams moving up and down the boards. I think we'll probably have more movement maybe than any draft in recent memory. I think.
Yeah. And all centered around the quarterback position.
Yep, all centered about that position. Yep.
And what's crazy is, like, you guys know I love Jordan Love. Since I joined this panel, I said he's the only other quarterback I would touch. Even before you shared your info, TD, I was all over that kid, okay? And Herbert, brother, let's break this down. Those guys are 2 projects, brother. They're not ready day one, and they're going to be going top 15. That's for real?
That's why I'm still not. Y'all know my take. I've talked to y'all probably about this Jordan Love thing, right? I'm still not sold on a Jordan Love.
I'm sold. I'm sold on his.
It's the ceiling.
I'm sold on his talent.
But you know me with the hopeful, you know.
I'm sold on his talent.
Yeah.
Both of him and Justin Herbert, talent wise. Now I am totally sold on both of them. But it's not all about talent in the NFL, baby.
I just guys, and I know you guys would agree with me on this. I don't know why we won't just make this easy and give Tannehill a call and say come back.
For what? So we can go back to 7. We can go back to purgatory for 7 more years. No, I'll pass. I'll pass, bro.
He's staying.
I'll pass. I'll pass.
He ain't moving. He's happy.
But TD, I saw reason I were talking about this. When was that, today, or was that last night? Whenever it was. Reason we were talking about this for like an hour, bro. We were both talking about this Todd Gurley trade, potential Todd Gurley trade. And from what I've seen, the reports that I've seen, I don't know about reason, but the consistent reports has the Rams trading Todd Gurley and a 2nd-round pick to us for a 3rd and a 5th. But the Rams have to pay a good portion of his salary.
Okay, back up. Slow it down. Okay. Say it again. Let me digest that.
The trade. The Rams giving us the player, trading the player to us,
and
plus a 2.
Okay, already sounds good. Keep going.
And only thing we would give up would be a 3 and a 5, but they would pay a good portion of his salary.
I wouldn't even believe it.
It's actually been out there pretty hard for the past.
It's been out. Oh yeah. They're talking about it, bro.
Until I hear from the organization, I wouldn't believe it because think about it. What's the value of a 3 and a 5? That ain't nothing but a better 3.
Brother, I told EM I'd give you the 5th. I ain't giving you the 3rd. I ain't giving you the 3rd. Brother, this guy's got arthritis in his knees, legitimately.
But I get it. But look at, I get it. I understand. But if they're gonna take the majority of responsibility from his salary, and you get a 2 as well,
okay.
And immediately,
don't get me wrong. How much of the 17 million are they taking though? If we're only paying 5 or 6, then cool. Then I'll take that for 5 and 6 and a 2nd. Sure.
And
don't get me wrong. I would take that 2nd in a heartbeat for a 3 and a 5. A 3 and a 5 just to trade those for a 2nd up outright is great.
Absolutely.
But what they're doing is trying to unload some of that salary on us.
Yeah.
They're talking about paying some of it, but they're trying to unload some. So what is the difference worth? That's it. The only factor that matters in this whole trade. That's all that matters, and that's the piece that we don't know. That's why it doesn't matter.
I would like to know exactly how the salary is structured as well. Like, what is his cap hit like this year, next year, and the year after? But those details I haven't seen. They hadn't reported on the details of, how much the Rams would be on the hook for as far as the salary is concerned. But I would entertain that in a heartbeat because if you bring Gurley in with arthritic knees, he's clearly head and shoulders above everything we have now, bro.
So this year is 17.25 million with a 12.6 million dead cap hit. Next year, 13 million with an 8.4 million cap hit, dead cap. Year after that is 14.2 million with a 4.2 dead cap, and then in 2023 is 12.3 million with no dead cap.
How soon can we walk away with no penalty? Does it?
2023 is no dead cap, but I think I heard people. I was watching people, some Rams fans talk about this, and they said in 2 years you can walk away with no money owed.
Well, 2022.
Yeah, this season, another season, and then you can walk away.
Yeah, 2022 is your out because you would lose. You would still pay dead cap of 4.2, but that's better than paying the 15.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You're paying about 10.
And Gurley is just 25 years old, bro.
Yeah, but brother, here's the thing: Jonathan Taylor is the exact same running back with no arthritis, and you can get him in the 2nd. And he's younger, most 200-yard games in FBS history.
I'm looking at okay.
And I love Gurley. When he came out, I wanted us to draft him. What
if Gurley gives you 75 to 80% of what he was in his MVP year?
What if?
What if he gives you just over the duration that we have him for those 2 years? What if he gives you 75 to 80% of what he was?
I don't think he can, because if you watched how the Rams utilized him last year, dude, I love Gurley, and I watched Gurley. So I watched him last year, and brother, they didn't start letting him really run the ball until the week 13, week 14, and his touchdowns are very deceiving because even when they weren't utilizing him, they would give him the ball in short situations in the red zone. So his touchdown numbers are lying to you.
Well, all running backs, for the most part, their touchdown numbers are inflated that way. So I don't necessarily deem that. I'm not going to ding him for that.
Yeah, but if you watch him the year before that, he was catching balls out of the back,
I agree.
running them to the house.
I agree.
Brother, he legit. You know, it came out after the Super Bowl last year. So after last year, so he still played another season, that he does have arthritis in that knee.
Yeah. But again, this is what I'm saying. If he can give you 80% of that MVP year now, when he was clearly the best running back in all football,
sure,
on a Hall of Fame trajectory, he was basically Marshall Faulk.
He was amazing. Agreed.
But if he can give you 80% of what he was, okay, and then on top of that, you bring him, you acquire that extra 2, and you can still double up in the draft. You can still draft,
Let's move past that Gurley crap, man.
You think so?
It would be terrible, bro. Let me at least tell you why. Because I mean, wanting a good back that proved that he can be effective in 80% is all good. Because I'm with you on that. But let's walk down this road and let's just really think about the ramifications of this. First of all, even if the Rams did pay some of his salary, first of all, I couldn't see them paying more than maybe $7 million. That means we're still on the hook for the other 10. Because the man getting 17.2 next season, right? And that's for 80% Todd Gurley, right? $10 million for 80% Todd Gurley, right?
I just threw up.
And that ain't even the only issue. I can't see them paying years of his salary past the 1 year. They're not. That's
why I was like, well, I need to find out exactly what the details are first.
Yeah, but next year we will be on the hook. The year after this year, we'll be on the hook for $13 million. 13, bro.
Well, yeah.
So first of all, the price is high. Second off, you got to look at it like this. Why do you think the Rams trying to come up off of it? I like the second.
They're trying to free up money to sign Jalen Ramsey. They shedding payroll, trying to shed payroll everywhere.
Well, guess what?
So,
we about to shed. Listen, Jalen Ramsey gonna be a free agent soon. If they think they're gonna save some money on Todd Gurley, let me tell you something. They trying to do what the Dolphins did with Tannehill, pay most of his salary, send them off. Now we can hope Gurley have a season like Tannehill. That would be sweet, but put it like this. This doesn't spell what we're trying to do. You see what I mean?
I agree.
It doesn't spell what we're trying to do. I could see the risk because I ain't gonna lie. We got the money. We got the money for the next 2 years.
You're in essence, you're acquiring a player and you're purchasing that second round pick.
That's the only thing enticing.
Me personally, if it all depends on how much the Rams are willing, how much they're willing to assume in that contract.
See,
that's the deal breaker with me.
If they came and said in 2020 we'll pay $9 million, and in 2022 we'll pay $6 million, we could talk.
Yeah,
I'll eat $8 million next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat $6 the year after that.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to be the case? They already getting rid of a second, bro.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, this issue, this subject. I mean, people are talking about this, bro. They've been talking about it. I think it broke like a couple nights ago. First time I saw it was a couple nights ago.
But they ain't got many suitors.
But a lot of teams aren't in this situation salary cap wise that Miami is in. It's kind of like
that's why I say they ain't got a lot of suitors. That's why if Greer is smart, he's gonna play this right and potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're gonna use that second round pick to draft Jonathan Taylor or somebody.
I agree. But you
gotta get the most money as you can for them to pay.
That's what I'm saying. And I think they will. I'm extremely confident that they will do that. It's kind of like
I'm not writing it out. Okay, I'm not writing it out because I can see the potential, and here's why. We're only on the hook for 2 years, and for the next 2 years, we're gonna be okay from a salary cap standpoint. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have that little.
If he gives you 80%, that's better than. I mean, man, people forget how great. I mean, that dude was Marshall Faulk. He was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. 3 years ago. So if he can give you 80% of what he was from that point, man. Again, it's all about how much they're willing to assume in that contract. But if, like you said, TD, if we can talk about 6-7 million, I'm all over that, bro. And he comes in, and we might strike lightning in a bottle, bro. He's 25 years old now. It's not like he's 30. It's not like, the same deal we did with Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib is 34 years old. He won't see the field in a Miami Dolphins uniform. But this kid, all I'm saying is this. His knees are concerned, absolutely. But if what they are reporting turns out to be true, and they're willing to assume, it's all about the details with the contract. If they are willing to assume the majority of the portion of that contract, I am all over that, bro. And then on top of that,
I got a question for you too. So TDEM, would you want that scenario that's just been pitched for the second round? Let's say you only have to give up a fourth, not 2 picks, a fourth, because Greer backs them down a little bit because of the money, okay? Would you rather that, or would you rather a 3-4 year deal between $8.5 to $10 million per year for Melvin Gordon?
Give me that again. The Melvin Gordon deal.
So it's what me and EM have heard that's out there is between $8.5 to $10 million per year for Melvin Gordon. Is
how many years?
I'm saying 3. We sign him for 3 to 4.
9 per year. 4 year we're gonna go because it is Melvin Gordon. His agent's pushing for 4.
Yeah.
$36 million. What's the guarantee?
I haven't heard any guarantee numbers, so you can throw whatever you'd want out there.
I love Melvin Gordon.
But you hold on. Crap.
I love Melvin Gordon.
And don't forget TD. Remember last year he sat out for most of the year, so there's less tread too.
So who do we like more right now, Melvin Gordon or Todd Gurley at 80%?
Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon. But
how far apart are we talking? Let's go scale of 1 to 10. Put Melvin Gordon's value
based on his performance, what he put on the tape last year. I'm gonna go about 7.5, maybe.
That's it.
See, I'm gonna go about an 8.5 because I know I got years on that body too. I know I got like at least another 5 years I can probably get out of that body.
So let's meet in the middle at 8. Now let's talk about the ladder. What value are we giving him?
Ooh. See, me, Gurley's at right now with the arthritis and what I saw last year, that guy's sitting at a 5 for me, buddy. He I don't know what I'm getting with him.
See, this is the
I didn't
problem,
see the same guy out of the backfield.
Reason makes a good point because that's the problem, EM. Everything that on Gurley's side is based off of potential.
I agree. I love Melvin Gordon, bro.
But that second round pick is what's aggravating me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because that's also his replacement. That's also his replacement.
Exactly. Or it could be included into a trade piece. You could trade back up into the first round. That's what I'm talking. If you're comparing Gurley and Melvin Gordon, apples to apples, no, absolutely not. I'm going with Melvin Gordon.
It's the second round pick.
Second round pick, bro.
Yeah,
the second round pick.
Because all I keep doing is I'm not looking at a second round pick. I'm placing Jonathan Taylor there. I'm literally putting him there instead of looking at second, and I'm trying to evaluate Todd Gurley, Jonathan Taylor.
That second round pick, that's a valuable asset, bro. Again, it gives you so much more flexibility. You can select, you can stand pat and select his replacement,
use that as part
you can use that as part of another package deal, trade back up into the first. You have 3 second-round picks. 3.
Yeah. Because second round is so valuable. I know second round is very valuable to me.
And I just want to say, I want to say this. I see Loso Dolphins in the comments says Gordon wants top running back money, not waste money on a running back when we need O-line. Well, I'm just going to address the first part. It's already been confirmed by like literally people in the league through sources, etc. His stock, he is not getting top money because of sitting out last year. And then when he came back, because of how they utilized Eckler, it hurt Gordon's numbers. So Gordon is not getting top running back money on the market this year.
Yep.
He's not going to set the market. He won't set the market.
I'm gonna be honest with you, TD. I would be more inclined if this scenario is correct. I would be more inclined. I'm leaning more toward the Gurley scenario because of that second round pick, bro. Because again, this is a extremely deep running back draft. So you can always select his replacement, number 2, or even the 3rd, 4th round. They're saying you can even go in the 3rd and 4th round and get quality starters. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. AJ Dillon's probably going to be around there in the 4th.
So I don't know why I can't answer which one I would actually do right now.
I'm going with the second round asset, bro.
You know what the problem is? You run into the second round, and I keep giving these comps because I think they're the best comps out of any players in this draft of any position. DeAndre Swift is Melvin Gordon. J.K. Dobbins is Devontae Freeman / Tevin Coleman. Yep. And Jonathan Taylor is Todd Gurley. Yep. So you basically got 2 of those guys are comparable to Gurley and Gordon, who are going to be 2 of the top running backs on the market this year.
And also, you won't be asking Todd Gurley.
Hi, TD. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing, bro? Hey. And also, you won't be asking Todd Gurley to come in and be the bell cow. He will be in a dual role.
Elijah will start and then
a platoon role. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Why does arthritis affect? I have a question for you guys before you guys continue talking about Todd Gurley. Why does arthritis affect the running back position more than, let's say, a receiver or a quarterback?
Because a lot of the shots you're going to be taking are going to be low, and you're running at full speed with your knees. Exactly. Like, here's the thing: a receiver's run. Yeah, I'm cutting. A receiver's running a route. They might not get the ball. There might not be yak. You put the ball in the running back's hands, and he's going wherever he's going.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Finsanity. How are you?
Finsanity. Show him the shirt. Show him the shirt, Finsanity.
Oh, the original.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
The original TDPHINSTALK shirt. Finsanity, have you been listening to this?
Yes, I have been listening. Hi, Tony. Hi, Reason, EM, TD.
Hey,
what's going on?
Life.
And honestly, I agree with the trade, but could I fix it a little bit? We should talk the Rams down because they're like you're saying, we're probably paying $30 million for the rest of the contract, right?
Yeah.
Why not give them a 5th round pick next year instead of giving up our fifth round pick this year? We keep the pick next year and we still get Todd Gurley and a 2nd round pick and stuff like that, and we can. If Todd Gurley can't stay healthy, why not just draft Jonathan Taylor? He's my favorite quarterback of all. I don't like DeAndre that much. He's a little bit overrated because he's playing in the SEC. Do you agree?
John, I'm not going to say any player's overrated because they play in the SEC. Time will tell whenever they start in the draft. The EM, I think somebody sent you a message with $2 EM. So you're going to have to deal with that, man.
Man, whatever.
I know. I don't know where that came from. Oh, Lord. I just clicked on the donation. Okay. Man, look at this donation.
Do you think the Raiders are going to be dumb enough to trade us their 2 first-round picks, guys, to get Tua and we get
I don't know
first-round picks? Because I think
somebody just
has
being
the
funny.
Ego enough to do something like that.
What's that? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please? I didn't hear you, bro.
Do you think the Raiders are going to be stupid enough, or John Gruden has a big enough ego to trade us their 2 first-round picks for the 5th-round pick and stuff like that?
Where does the Raiders draft?
12 and 19.
So will we take a 12 and 19 for a 5?
Hell, for our 5th round, for the number 5 pick?
Yeah.
Well, that definitely takes you out of the Tua sweepstakes for sure.
Well, we know that, but is that even
No, I don't think it's a possibility.
Is that fair value? Is what I'm asking.
No.
Hold on.
No.
What are you doing? Oakland's 2 trades for our 5th?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. So if I go by the Johnson chart, the 12th and the 19th add up to 2,075 points. Our pick is worth 1,700 points.
So we'd be losing. No, we'd be gaining.
I don't think Raiders would do so. That's not his question. His question was, would the Raiders be stupid enough to do it? So obviously, it's
No, because I already said this. When you go back to last year, Gruden, it came out, Gruden was in love with Kyler Murray. Gruden tried his hardest to move up and get Kyler Murray. Now, when you look at this year, who's the closest comparable? There isn't really a comparable, but who's the closest comparable when you look at their skill set to what Murray is, and that's Jordan Love. And if he's sitting at 12, that's the ideal spot of where Jordan Love's going to go. Because like I've said multiple times, and now you're starting to see it in mock drafts. Because I call this. He ain't making it past the Colts, and they're at 13. So Jordan Love, yeah, he's not making it past the Colts, and you're starting to see that pop up in mock drafts now. And I've been saying it for weeks.
I don't know. Jordan Love didn't exactly help himself in the Senior Bowl.
He was only actually outgraded one day by Justin Herbert.
I thought he actually improved his stock in the Senior Bowl.
Justin Herbert was only the highest graded quarterback on day 1, and then on day 2 and 3, it was Jordan Love, and then Justin Herbert won the Senior Bowl MVP, and his touchdown throw was a little like hitch pass to a running back coming out of the backfield, so it wasn't anything incredible.
I've been hearing conflicting reports about Jordan Love, but again,
I'll just tell you what the grades are.
Again, I'm sold on his talent. Now the talent is undeniable, but we'll see.
Did you watch any of the Senior Bowl, EM? Because on day 2, Jordan Love was making some back corner throws in the corner of the end zone that had
I'm
people
talking about overall. I'm not talking about just one game.
I actually got nervous because I thought
I'm saying day 2 and
Senior Bowl.
There was only 3 total days of actual practice. Okay, day 1, just by PFF, day 1, Justin Herbert was the highest graded. Day 2 and 3 was Jordan Love. Jordan Love was actually the highest graded quarterback overall coming out of the Senior Bowl by PFF.
I didn't see. Again. I've seen conflicting reports.
Yeah, no, I've seen people from organizations and scouts say they liked Herbert, and I've seen guys say they like Love.
But the consensus coming out of the Senior Bowl is that the player that helped himself the most was Justin Herbert. Now, I'm not saying I would take Justin Herbert over Jordan Love.
Actually, it wasn't a quarterback.
Well, I'm talking about from a quarterback's perspective.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts hurt himself the most.
Jordan Love has a higher floor than Herbert.
A higher what?
Oh, yeah.
A higher floor?
Yeah.
Higher ceiling.
Higher ceiling, you mean?
Yeah.
Higher ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a matter of
what does floor mean when it comes to scouting, guys? Can you explain that?
So a floor is basically so a floor is basically the bottom of what you're going to see. So if you're going to use, so here you go, perfect example. Like I use Jalen Hurts. So to me, Jalen Hurts, his ceiling is Tyrod Taylor. His floor is like jokingly to me, his floor is like a Pat White. You know what I'm saying?
But a Pat White floor.
No. He has more toughness than Pat White. He has way more toughness than Pat White.
Hold on. I need y'all to be quiet for a second. I need y'all to be quiet. I used the word
joking. I said that.
Listen, I need y'all to be quiet for a second. First of all, we're not going to talk about Pat White on this channel. He took a godly hit on the sideline that we are always be in debt to. Okay, so Pat White, he need a statue in front of Miami with a sideline marker next to it. So don't be disrespecting Pat White, baby. That's the GOAT number 2 behind Tannehill.
TD, weren't you banging the table for Jalen Hurts at some point this past year?
Who is Jalen Hurts? You talk about the guy Tua replaced?
Jalen Hurts proved that.
I'm serious. You talk about the quarterback. You talk about the quarterback. No, that was what's his name? That was the conspiracy theory.
Eye test.
Yeah. Everything that sounds crazy to be for me.
Bye, guys.
All right,
Tony.
All right, man. Take care of yourself, bro. Take care.
Yeah, that guy proved at the Senior Bowl what I've been saying all along. He doesn't have an NFL arm. Period. The only fit I see for a guy like that right now is backing up Lamar Jackson. That's the literally only fit I see.
Wow.
Maybe backing up Kyler Murray, but he don't got the arm for an air raid. He doesn't have the arm for an air raid.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Esteban?
What's up, man? I was sick on one of your streams for about a week. I watched them. What's up, Fansanity, EM, Reason up there in Canada? I see you, man. I heard y'all talking about Love, man. I actually don't think that that's not too bad of a pick in the draft. The only thing is, I know nobody wants to pick a quarterback like him that high, but I feel like in this draft you have to, because there's a lot of quarterback hungry teams. So if you're gonna draft him for a second pick, you might as well just take him for the first pick if you want a quarterback. That's the way that I see it. My thing with Love in the Senior Bowl, man, was I don't think they displayed him the way they needed to, because I don't know what exactly Reason was alluding to, but I know they ran a lot with him. You know, he did a lot of handoffs when he did.
About practice. I was talking about practice.
And a lot of his passes were dropped or guys were running bad routes.
In the game. He had to drop passes.
Those wide receivers actually made him look bad, but it wasn't him. That's what I got out of it.
You're talking about the game, right?
Yeah, the Senior Bowl. Right? I thought he looked real athletic. I thought his throws looked good.
Did you see? No, hold on, Esteban. Did you see that? Did you see that crossing route? It was like about 15 yards. I think it was like a 15-yard in, and he hit it right in the numbers, and the guy dropped it.
Catchable, yeah.
Like he hit it right in the numbers, and the guy dropped it.
He's got some good. He's got a good deep ball. I like what I saw from him.
Oh yeah, his talent is undeniable. His talent will never be questioned.
There was a lot of guys in the trenches, like Josh Jones guy that Ball Games was talking about. I was really impressed with him.
That's me, bro. Don't give Ball Game credit for the guy I've been preaching, bro.
Oh, was it you? Okay, I know he's got good hands.
Buddy, that guy raised his stock so much. I'm seeing him go in the top 10 now in some.
That quarterback from Michigan that took a sack on his side during the Senior Bowl, it wasn't his fault because the guy stepped out of the pocket. That was like the only time that you could say anything bad about him, and it wasn't his fault.
Film on Reason.
Did you? What? Sorry.
Is that the same guy you were sending us film on?
Josh Jones, yeah, and the other one was, remember I was sending you guys in the chat one-on-ones where Javon Kinlaw was dominating.
He beat everybody.
Dominating.
Beat everybody.
He's closed the gap between him and Derek Brown. I'm telling you, he's close.
Yeah, are you talking about the guy from South Carolina?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and another guy.
I was impressed by him. That kid from Utah, the Hawaiian kid, I can't remember his name. Bradley and I. Very opportunistic. That guy, I wouldn't. The guy, that's a guy that you can use, for depth. You know what I mean? And then on the offensive line, man, that Oregon center, the LSU center, and that guard from LSU, those guys, man, there was some depth in the trenches.
So Cushionberry's the center from LSU. Yeah. Jake Hansen's the center from Oregon, also watch Shane Lemieux. And then the guard you're talking about, who's absolutely risen, is Damian Lewis from LSU.
Yeah. And those guys.
Another kid you didn't mention who had the perfect guy for us is Zach Bond from Wisconsin.
Yes. Oh my God. His film is crazy.
Buddy, this guy is Zach Thomas.
It is, bro.
This guy is Zach Thomas. This guy is Zach Thomas.
6 cents. 6 cents.
Hey, Reason, you said Zach Thomas?
Brother, watch Zach Bond's film, bro. Zach
It's crazy,
Thomas
dude.
2.0.
TD, you gotta watch it. Yeah, Zach
No,
Thomas.
I love hearing it.
Without an NFL
Yeah.
snap.
Look, you guys. I know.
I'm comparing the pursuit. The pursuit reminds me of Zach Thomas. The way he's always sniffing the ball out, the way he's always around the ball.
Because when you say someone is Zach Thomas, like
Speaking of Zach Thomas, speaking of Zach Thomas, man, I am so pissed off that he did not get into the Hall of Fame, man. That's ridiculous. Look, man, I know that everybody deserved what to get. The guys that they chose were deserving, but I felt he was more deserving. I mean, the Super Bowl was in Miami. You're gonna wait to see the process that I heard that these guys go through is they're all in a hotel and they go knock on your door. The guy played. I mean, that was pretty much his home for 10 plus years. You know what I mean? He had the most tackles for over 10 years. How could he not have made the Hall of Fame this time? I was just honestly, this is the first Super Bowl where I was out grocery shopping. I was that pissed. Like I woke up,
right?
I went to sleep pissed. I went to sleep pissed, and I woke up pissed. I'm sorry, but I did. I was grocery shopping. I didn't catch that game until like the end of the second quarter. You know what I mean? I was more impressed with the halftime show.
You can still get in though, right?
He'll get in at some point. He'll get in at some point.
Yeah.
I give him 2 years. I give him 2 years.
To have done it this year would have been special for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I give him 2 years, bro.
2 years.
Yeah.
I think it should have been this year, man.
Who are you picking out?
Next 2 years, a lot of good eligible guys are coming out.
That's why I say not next year. That's why I said 2 years. Next year, they coming out.
Who are you picking out, Esteban? Because like, other than the fact that the Super Bowl was in Miami, who are you picking out that?
But that's what I said. That's why I said he wasn't really snubbed though.
Right.
I agree with that.
When I started the other day, I already knew what to expect.
Yeah, I know.
That's
why I said those guys were all deserving. Those guys were all deserving. I just felt that it would have been special for him. The timing was perfect. It was in Miami. You know what I mean?
They never do anything for Miami. I think
for me, that just shows that's how little they think of Miami as an organization.
Not necessarily.
This actually segue into one of the topics everybody wanted to talk about. Does the media hate the Miami Dolphins? Because I have my thought process on it. I want to hear from y'all before I give my thought process.
Absolutely, they do, and they showed it. They showed it. Snubbing Zach, man.
We have no stars. We have no stars.
No, I mean, if Zach Thomas gets it, I mean, who are you taking off that list, bro? I mean, let's be real. I've always.
I think they don't care about it.
I love my team. I love my play. I love the players. I love this organization. We all know that. But let's be real. I mean,
no, we don't.
Zach was a great player. Jason Taylor was a great player. But I don't even think that Jason Taylor should have got in a first ballot. Was he really a first ballot Hall of Fame player? No, he wasn't. In my estimation, he wasn't.
His numbers just checked out.
I mean, you look at Michael Strahan. He didn't even get in on the first try. And was Jason Taylor at his apex? Was he great? Was he better than Michael Strahan? I can argue that absolutely not. So again, Zach will get in, but I can't definitively say that with the list of players that came out. Who are you taking off when they have, they give you the same resume and they have the postseason accolades in addition to their resumes. So he'll get in, but I'm not pissed off that he's not, that he hadn't got in at this point. I'm not mad. I know he will get in eventually. I just don't think Zach he was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he just wasn't Ray Lewis. He just wasn't Brian Urlacher in my estimation.
So does the media hate us, EM? Does the media hate us?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't believe they hate the dog. They view Zach Thomas, okay, I think for the most part. And Zach Thomas will give you the resume, but the reason why I think Zach Thomas is not looked at in the same light as a Ray Lewis or Urlacher because he wasn't the superior athlete that they were. You know what I'm saying? They look at him as a 5th round pick out of Texas Tech, overachiever, just got by based on effort, yada, 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 whatever. But I think they look at him as
never played meaningful games.
Never played, exactly, never won anything. So again,
I don't know about that, man. That defense, man, with Surtain and Taylor and Zach Thomas, all these guys, they consistently were in the playoffs, though. And
what do you mean consistently the playoffs?
They had a long stretch of going to the playoffs. I mean, wild card.
But how far? Yeah, but come on, bro.
Yeah,
we're talking about the wild card.
But when you're comparing
Hall of Fame resume.
But when you're comparing him to Ray Lewis, multiple Super Bowls, Urlacher in the NFC Championship game multiple times and got to a Super Bowl. Zach Thomas never had those, and I'm not putting the reasons why we didn't make it on Zach Thomas. I'm not saying that. But the Hall of Fame voters, they look at that. They take all of that into their Hall of Fame considerations. And Zach Thomas, he just doesn't when you're stacking him, he was just in the wrong era, in my opinion. He was just stuck in the Ray Lewis era, in Brian Urlacher era, in my opinion.
I say just the wrong. I just say that. I mean, y'all gonna hate. I'm gonna say this, but I just say the wrong team in the era. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. It's a case of you put Zach Thomas in one Super Bowl, even if he lost, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now.
I don't know, man. My thing about Zach Thomas is when you watch the games that we had, rivalry games that were meaningful for us, he always made a play, man. He always got a fumble. He always stopped them on a third down when you needed it. That's the type of player Zach Thomas was, man. He showed up when you needed him to. We don't even have people like that now.
Straight grit.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on it.
Yeah, but that's a fan sees that, a voter doesn't.
True. Now
the only way you're gonna know that is if you actually watch film on him or you watch the games that he played in, man. If you're just going on stats, I mean, the teams that those guys played on, opposed to who he had, they had a good defense. Those Dolphins defenses were pretty good, but we just didn't have it on the other side of the ball consistently.
But again, you're comparing good to great. With the defenses that Ray Lewis was on consistently, top 5 defenses for the duration of his career. Urlacher, the same thing. You can't say that with Zach Thomas. He just was in the wrong era, in my opinion. I love Zach, he will get in at some point, but I'm not pissed off that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Also, Ray Lewis won 2 Super Bowls with literally two historically great defenses that he led, right?
Exactly, that he led. He was the primary responsibility for them achieving that level of success.
Before I go to Finsanity on whether or not the media hates the Dolphins, I want to give a special shout out to Vic Coaster, who always shows love and support. He was also our first Patreon. He said, always the best content on your channel. Keep up the good work. And Reason, after consideration and your arguments, I will take Tua if he's healthy. With a team around him, we are a Super Bowl down. Great job as always.
One more for the good guys.
Vic, welcome, my friend. Welcome.
All right. Vic gave you a shout out, EM. Vic gave you a shout out.
You done open up a can of worms, TD.
Welcome, Vic. Welcome.
Man, let's go to Finsanity. Does the media hate us, Finsanity?
Okay. Speaking as not a fan, which is very hard for me to do. No, the media does not hate us. We have been our own worst enemy. Even with some of our acquisitions and players we brought in. We bring in Mike Wallace and we don't utilize him. But the media goes out here and pours out all this. The media at one point, was hyping us up. And someone said that NFL Network hates us. Go listen to Peter Schrager and how every year he's almost
Exactly.
He's always saying that we're a sleeper team. But what do we go out and do? You bring in Brock Osweiler. You bring in Jay Cutler. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to give us a cookie? A handout?
Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill made the Pro Bowl, bro.
And then even when Tannehill came back after the injury, and after we went to the playoffs, what happens? He gets injured in preseason on a non-contact injury. We have been our own worst enemy. And what is the media supposed to do? Put out a false narrative and look like some goons? Oh yeah, the Dolphins are going to be amazing. I could see them getting 11 wins this year. With who? With what? Like they get paid. They get paid to do this. So us as fans, of course, we're going to sit home and say, "Oh, our team's going to make the Super Bowl every year," because that's what we're supposed to do. But when your job is on the line and you have to like say, "Well, am I going to say something positive about the Dolphins and completely like,
lose my credibility?"
Hey,
Right.
you
Or
know what?
Go with like the trend that they have not consistent. They haven't had good coaching until this past season.
And you know what? To be honest with you,
they haven't gone into the agents that have been what they were on the previous franchises or as effective. I don't know why people come here and retire, but they come here taking that, and we pay them boatloads of money, and it's crazy to me. That's why I said this whole Gurley thing it's idiotic to me. The fact that we were even entertaining taking on somebody else's mistake. If they paid the man and overpaid him, let them deal with that. We don't need to take on that money for what? We got our own situation. We're moving in a whole different direction. Let the Rams stay on the West Coast. We're gonna stay here in the Southeast. Like, what do you expect them to do? If someone told you to predict the Dolphins record, and if you get it right, over under, it'll give you $1 million. Or give a good synopsis on the Dolphins, and they'll give you $1 million. Most of y'all be like, man, they're not going to be effective, all that stuff. So, like, we as fans, we see it as hate, but it's not. It's just, harsh reality. And we don't like to face it.
I think the narrative's starting to change because, like, I was talking about that Florio interview earlier, TD, about the Burrow thing, right? So Dan Patrick straight up asked him, what would you rather, Cincinnati or the Dolphins? And not only did Mike Florio say the Dolphins, but he also said the Dolphins because of what we got going on with with Flores, with Brian Flores. So I think, everyone who I've heard talk about this whole Burrow Bengal thing, I've heard the exact same. Like, I've heard, because they've compared, obviously everyone knows we're quarterback needy. So in the same comparison, I've always heard the same thing. I would rather go to the Dolphins because they have something going on with Flores and it looks like they're trending upwards. So I think because of how we achieved last year, I think you guys might start seeing the narrative, because I don't think it was so much as hate as they really didn't care about us, because why were we worth caring about?
Yeah.
We weren't a story. We didn't bring views. Why are you going to talk about it?
I agree with that too, but I think it's even deeper. But I want to handle this donation right here. Ukdroma wrote, if Taylor is in, Thomas should be in from that single focus. It is no different than Bill and Tom. I want to say I disagree with that, because Jason Taylor had the kicker without the Super Bowl. Let me give you an example. There are defensive ends in the Hall of Fame with 120 sacks, but they've been to a Super Bowl. Jason Taylor had no Super Bowl. That's why his level of play had to warrant the 139.5 or 140 sacks. So he earned his numbers without the Super Bowl to justify it. Zach Thomas with the Super Bowl would have guaranteed him to be in. Jason Taylor didn't need that. I think what Droma is trying to say is those two were kind of hand in hand, but at the end of the day, one shined at his position and was more well known at his position than the other. And because during that era, Jason Taylor was one of the top. But during that same era, they ignored a guy like Zach Thomas and say he's another good one versus Ray Lewis. What? You know what I mean? So I just think he's stuck in his time. But I want to go to Mike and get your thoughts. What's your thoughts on all of this, man?
On what? The media?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just gonna have to piggyback on what Finsanity said, and to be honest, yeah, like the Dolphins just haven't had a storyline or anything to really talk about. We've been a mediocre 7-9, 6-10 team with, one playoff berth in the past 20 years. I don't know if that's accurate, but regardless, Miami hasn't had a storyline to follow for quite some time. And I think that we're about to see that change drastically. I mean, look at last year, all of the media attention that the Raiders were getting. They had 3 first-round draft picks. So I think getting closer to the draft, we're going to see a lot more Dolphins attention. The beauty about this year was the fact that what we did this season, no one can take away from us. because they saw us at our absolute worst in disarray, going 0-7 with no one on the roster. And they saw a team literally game by game getting better and better. And then look at what we did at the end. The Kansas City Chiefs need to thank the Dolphins for having won that Super Bowl, hands down. And I think we're about to turn a page into a new era.
Are you saying because of the first week bye that we allowed them to have?
Of course. That's huge in the playoffs. So, I mean, yeah.
Who was going to beat Kansas City in the wild card, and who wasn't going to not beat that Patriots team?
You never know, though.
I know. I understand what you're saying, but look at what happened with Kansas City. Like, they could have been down by 58, and I still believe that they would have came back. And the Patriots were so not the Patriots that, like, come on, a running game beat them. When's the last time a running game beat Bill Belichick? Like, come on, anyone.
I don't know though, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying Kansas City still wouldn't have won a Super Bowl, but if you take away that bye, you never know, because they would have ran into Tennessee in that first round. But you never know. No, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have beat Tennessee, but you never know.
Yeah, but that makes
I think we're really like grabbing like low fruit. Like, really, the Kansas City Chiefs, whether they had to go through the wild card, like, where would they have had to play? Well, if they're not the first one, they had to go into New England again and beat New England. Are you kidding me? The way they played and the way that New England was playing, are we really that desperate that we have to say, oh, Kansas City needs? Yeah, it's cool that they got the bye, but like let's be serious. Man. Are we really grabbing for that much low fruit so we can solidify? Did we have a good season? Yes. Well, yes, but that was not like for us to beat that Patriots. That was not the Patriots, and we all can sit here and say that was not the New England team that we have all come to hate. So yeah, kudos to them for having the bye, and they can think us all we want, but like, to me, that's just low hanging fruit. Let's just say the fact that we got better and we developed these young guys is what we should take from the season, not the fact that we beat a horror, but probably the worst you've seen New England in about 20 years. Congratulations to us for doing what?
You give them that first. You give them that first round back.
They had a killer season.
Doing this. The Ravens, who got wiped off in the playoffs, just did them dirty. Come on.
That's
we really want that much, but like, come on, guys.
Let me say this. You never know though, because a Baltimore could have even beat Kansas City. You don't know. Two different dynamic teams. Lamar would have probably been a lot more free versus Kansas City.
I doubt
that they beat them earlier in the year.
And then we're sitting here, we're really negating New England with the bye. How much more impactful that could have been for them?
Well, hold on. TD, hold on. Can I ask this? How many games have they lost at Foxborough in the playoffs? And then I'll go on top of that. Who were the quarterbacks that were the ones that beat them? Like Manning? We're talking about bona fide guys. And what did Flacco have? A historically great defense. And what was Flacco doing? He threw for like 12 touchdowns and no picks on that touchdown.
Who else beat them? What other quarterbacks beat them in Foxborough?
No, I'm talking about in the playoff.
Yeah, what other quarterbacks beat them in Foxborough?
Well, Tannehill.
The GOAT!
Oh my God!
Yeah, but that's the other point. That's the other point I was going to make. That's the other point I was going to make. We're also taking away from, if Kansas City and them switch spots, now Kansas City is the one who's in the midst of Derrick Henry's historic multi-game run.
They would have probably had to play the Texans.
No. Right? They would have played Tennessee. They were the bottom seed.
They would have played Tennessee and Tennessee.
They would have, yeah.
No, not in Tennessee. It would have been in Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Right.
And it's not like that was at the tail end of, like, that was in the midst of Derrick Henry.
Who was going to stop their passing game?
I know. I'm not debating that. I just know
about
that.
to go back into like a rabbit hole.
All
I was saying was
the best way to stop the passing game is with your offense.
Kansas City run defense.
You got to run the ball. You have to run the ball and take. You got to win the time of possession game to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Like I said, we're going into a whole rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is, if that's the low-hanging fruit that we want to hold on to, that we finally went into Foxborough and beat a horrible, just like none of you can say that looked like
the receiving core was, but I'm not going to say that.
Michelle wasn't Sony Michelle like that. He was last. It was horrible on all levels. The brothers were getting beat left and right. Like, are we? I'm not.
I gotta check Insanity for a second. Hold on.
I mean, I don't know.
Because it's like, to me, it's like you guys are really acting like.
No.
Like anyone beating the Patriots this year, to me, like it was just like it was inevitable. Like, are you guys?
It was only like 3 teams. Listen, hold on. Finsanity. I gotta check. I gotta check Finsanity for a second.
On their own. That's all I'm saying. The way Kansas City was playing, they would have handled business on their own.
Listen, I gotta check Finsanity for a second, man.
We had no business winning their game. We had no business, but we still won.
They beat 2 playoff teams in the last 3 games of the season.
2.
With no one on the roster.
Miami Dolphins.
2.
The Miami Dolphins did.
The Eagles.
What teams, please?
Philadelphia and the Patriots.
Now we talking. Like I said, this is like you know what?
Listen, this is how I see it, Finsanity. I see it like this, Finsanity. Technically, you are correct. But let me check you for a second.
Go ahead.
We beat the Patriots. Don't you steal my joy. Don't you dare steal my joy.
Let's enjoy the win.
No, because my thing is
don't try to steal my joy.
I want a real measuring stick. If we had done that and Tom Brady and them was on the height of all heights and they weren't
highlight that
horrible, I would have gave it to them. But I want real, true competition measuring sticks. Like, I really want to know where my team is. And if someone wants to ask my Dolphins fan, pride takes it. Am I a Dolphins fan? Yes, but I'm also a realistic person. And at the end of the day, I really want to know where my team is going into the season. When I have expectations and hopes, I can say, you know what? Well, we did this, we did that. So it's starting to add up and make sense to me. But it's okay.
You won't know that.
Yeah, we won't be able to know that.
You won't know that until next year or the year after.
Because we're having a new team. But like, I'm just, you know,
Super Bowl, baby.
Hey,
where's the Super Bowl next year?
I think that was a good gauge or measuring stick for our coaching to know where our coaching is, because we had no business winning that game. They had to have that game. It's still an important game, regardless of what you say. It was still an important game for the Miami Dolphins franchise.
I don't think the Patriots are trying their hardest.
It's funny you bring that up, Esteban. They fired the entire coaching staff. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Brian Flores.
So was that really an accurate barometer? No.
No. It was EM because EM. Look at it. EM.
Was there backlash on Flores for winning the game?
Hold on. It was a good barometer because it's only one person that we were evaluating on the coaching staff last year, truly, and that was Brian Flores.
Yep, and he killed it.
And the truth is, I think that even the moves he made and the firings he made can prove to be some bigger than we even know right now.
They needed to be made. Yeah,
we hope. But if it does turn out, then we're like, wow.
My approach is I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see the product on the field. Period. As far as that's concerned.
Okay, Quint Riddle said with the pass rush, Tennessee would have beat Kansas City. Everybody knows that. You know, my homeboy didn't do nothing. But anyway, let's did everybody answer the question on whether the media hates us or not?
No, they don't.
I think the reason.
I personally feel like they do. I personally feel like they do hate us, but it's but because we allow them to. It ain't a media hate us because they hate us. It's because it's easy to hate us because anything negative come out about the Dolphins, we are the most divided fan base in the world. We will, half the fan base will go with the negative and half the fan base will not go with the negative. We fight each other more than any other franchise that I know. And that is the truth. Well, I ain't talking about the Tua times and all that. We all know what I'm talking about. The last 20 years, we have fought each other more than any other franchise. They could talk trash about us on national television. We could be like, I can't believe he said that. But half the fan base around here talking about, yeah, I mean, he's right.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I can't say that they hate on us. It's acceptable news to do so. That's the problem. We have to start coming together. That's why I told y'all, if we do draft Tua, that's the one thing that I'll be behind with that whole scenario is that 80% of the fan base want him. See, all y'all people who don't want Tua, let me give y'all a reality check. We're a smaller group than you think. Let me get that straight now. 80% of this fan base wants Tua Tagovailoa. Mm-hmm. So I'm too concerned about his injuries. I'm not one of those people, but we are smaller than you think.
Look, so I got something I want to say whenever you get done, TD, about Tua.
Oh, here we go.
So I just want to be clear.
Bring it, Esteban. Bring it.
Look, man.
Wait. Before Esteban goes, let me, because I want to get all the donations. We want to make sure we hit those. They it's just like commercials. They pay the bills around here. So Chris Culler with the donation said we beat New England in a different way than we ever have, respectfully and in Gillette. Let's go. Fitzpatrick did it too. Fitzmagic.
I mean, hey, in Buffalo was a playoff team. Did Buffalo beat New England one time this year?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Buffalo Bills made the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills was in the playoffs, and they got swept by the Patriots this year.
Go ahead, Esteban.
Interesting.
All right. So I was out teaching my son how to drive, and I missed what you guys talked about. I heard you guys talking about Gurley and all this. Look, I don't know what y'all said. This is my opinion. Look. Because I just started getting that feeling we're getting close to the draft that we might actually draft Tua. But I'd be okay with drafting Love too. Whichever way it goes. Look, this is why I say we need a running back.
Don't backtrack now.
I'm not backtracking, man. I'm just saying the way that I feel that with all these reports coming out, it feels like we're going to draft a quarterback for that first pick. So this is all that I'm saying. If that's the case. If that's the case, let me finish. If that's the case, look, this is the way I want the draft to go. If we get Tua or we get Love, I want us to get the trenches. If we can get a pass rusher, after that, nothing but offensive linemen. There was so many.
We've been saying that.
Let me finish. I'm not done.
Let me finish.
I am not done.
Because they've been saying that, Esteban, but go ahead and finish, bro.
Yeah,
that third round pick, because he'll be there, needs to be AJ Green. Our only competition for this guy.
Dylan? You mean Dylan?
I'm sorry, AJ Dillon. I'm sorry. Listen, I just feel that it needs to be him because I know he'll be there at that third round pick. Our only competition that I feel that we have for that guy is Tennessee. The reason I say Tennessee is because Venerable's son plays with him in Boston College, and he knows he's legit. He's been to those games. But the kicker on that is Tennessee picks after us.
Did you watch? Hold on, 1 second before we get into Tua. Did you watch the panel where I talked about AJ Dillon and how I got into his film? Did you hear me break down his numbers against the stacked boxes?
Yes. So, and I agree. I agree with everything. Right now, we're doing
a big board show that we're gonna have coming up, and I'm doing the running backs. As it stands, I have him after the big three. AJ Dillon is.
Don't give it away, Reason. Don't give it away.
No. I'm just saying. I said after the big three. I didn't say where, but I said after the big three. AJ Dillon is the guy that I would be looking at hard.
Look. I don't think we need to look at a running back until that third round. That's the way that I feel. I really don't, because there's so much talent at running back. These other guys are going to be going off the board. We can get a quarterback, work on the trenches, get some guys in the secondary, safety. There's so much talent out there. Those are the positions that we need to address first for our needs. A guy like
you watch film, Esteban. So go back, because I've been brought up this name multiple times, and now we hired the Cal DB's coach. So I brought up Ashton Davis, the safety, multiple times from Cal.
That'd be a nice pick.
Go watch film on him, because I think that's lining up to be the pick, considering we just got his coach.
I have. He's legit, man. I've seen a lot of mock drafts and I've heard a lot of opinions. I just don't feel that we need to draft a running back until the third round. And third round, I think is the perfect spot to get a running back, because look, this is my thing. When Tua played in Alabama, he threw the ball a lot, right?
Trash.
And that's just because of the way he was coached. That's the way Saban was doing it. I'm pretty sure that Insanity feels what I'm about to say is correct. You like Najee, right? And he didn't touch the ball enough. Why? Why would you just? I know Tua has talent. If you were to come to the Dolphins, fine. He's got talent. He's good. He's legit. But give him a run game. Run the ball more. Let him progress and let him dominate that way. Introduce him into this. Well, whether it's Love, whoever it is, man, we have to establish the run game next year is going to be so important. We have to have a legit running back that's going to run you over and get extra yards on his own. And I just feel that is our pick. We have to get somebody like him in the draft, not free agency in the draft.
But again, that since the first day TD started this panel, okay. That has been mine. I've been consistent about my point about this team, about how they have acquired and amassed all of this capital. Okay, for that reason, you can address your quarterback no matter at 5 or at that time they were saying we were tanking and all of that, and we could have been picking number 1 and 2, but you can get your quarterback, okay, and you have an unprecedented amount of capital to address every other aspect of your team, in addition to free agency. So this is why I'm frustrated when I hear people trying to come over and trying to backtrack because of the ridicule that y'all spewed my way, when I've been consistent about that very point since day one. So no, I'm not letting you off the hook, all of y'all. Y'all
well, I mean,
but look, it all goes.
Hold on, you see that finger?
It all goes hand in hand. If we can get the run game going, our defense is going to be better. Look, one of the things that irritated me this year, I know we were, introducing a new coach and offense and all these new players. The thing that irritates me is I am a defensive guy. I'm the type of guy that wish that that the coaches would call timeouts for the defense to give them some rest. When you got teams that just throw the ball like Kansas City, call a timeout for your defense. Adjust. Figure out how you're going to rotate your guys quicker, whatever you got to do. It's not just about calling timeouts for your offense. Timeouts are so important. It's where you can make adjustments. I'm a defensive guy. If we got a run game, I know we can pick up first downs. You don't have to score every time, but you can at least pick up some first downs and not have your defense going out there after 3 and outs. That irritated me this year. 3 and outs was just we got to stop.
I mean, I know Esteban, you've been watching.
Hell no, I don't want to hear that.
Since I joined this panel, I've been, the way the draft is falling and how he slipped a bit. Y'all remember how big I was on Tyler Biadasz. I was talking about Shane Lemieux when no one was talking about Shane Lemieux because I want to address the guard. I've always said, when I joined, I was talking about Jack Conklin and Brandon Schreff, and now we're talking about Tooney and Andres Pete. So, this has all been something I've said. Listen, whether it's Tua, whether it's Love, whether it's Lawrence, you draft a guy, that's your investment. Okay, that's your Fort Knox. What do you do with Fort Knox? You put all your gold in a fortified building. So it's the same. That quarterback is your stash of gold. You put him behind a fortified building. It's the same mentality you got to take, especially if you got a guy who it's obviously a concern about his durability. This should be, we should be trying to build a Pro Bowl caliber line because you know why? If the durability issues pop up, we can plop someone else right behind that.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
the wheels keep going in motion. Like that's why the line. You know what? The line is where the money should be spent next to your franchise quarterback, because with receivers, the way this game is turning into, man, you can look at what Seattle did with DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? This is, Metcalf took away from Tyler Lockett's production this year because he had such a big year. If the quarterback is that good, has that kind of protection, you know what I mean? I'm not going to put Seattle's protection in the same bracket as that because they weren't that great at times this year. But if a good quarterback has great protection, he's going to make it work. This is why we talk about guys like Rodgers, Mahomes, making guys around them better. If you happen to luck out on a guy like Tua, who, you know what, you ask any scout, you ask any analyst, you say, if Tua was healthy and you did not have a durability concern, who would be going number one this year? 95% of them are going to tell you Tua Tagovailoa.
And see,
that's why. Hey, Ian, before you go, Ian, before you go, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Mike, I want you to stick around. Mike, do you mind hanging out backstage for a little bit?
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
I want to bring one of my homies in for a second. So y'all, one moment.
A homie.
What's up? What's up, Big? Ooh.
What up, homie? What's up, guys?
Vic got the black shirt on Saturday. Vic got the black one on Saturday.
Vic, welcome.
He looked like the bad Spider-Man, like when had the black and white. All right, I like it.
We got room at the table, my friend.
I'm there, buddy. After watching his interviews and everything going on with Tua, I mean, the guy's definitely going to be a leader. I think if he's healthy, I think he can make the team go. And I'm there, guys. Sorry.
Vic, no. Keep it to yourself.
TD, I was there, bud.
Vic, can I ask you something, Vic?
Yeah.
Now, just watching his interviews and sitting him down, and I actually called EM right after I watched an interview because I threw my hands up and I said, I want this guy in our locker room.
I know.
Don't you come away with, not only is he so personal, but doesn't he come off like a guy you'd follow into the fire?
Absolutely.
That's what he comes off as.
He's a leader. He's a leader of men, and he actually knows football and he knows the way it's played. And I don't think there won't be a guy that would follow him in our team, but we just got to make sure he's healthy. If he's healthy, I have no choice but to ask for him.
Y'all don't think he might go to the Redskins?
I made a statement a while.
Chase Young.
Chris Culler said Flores will unite us all. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that.
It's already come out. It's already come out, Esteban, that Ron Rivera is infatuated with Chase Young.
I made a statement about Tua. I made a statement several times, some strings back, that he's going to be a beacon of light for some franchise, and I just hope it's ours. If Insanity laughs when I made that statement.
I would never lay all your money. Never lay all your money on one player, but you got to have a foundation that you can rely on to help lead the team. And I hope that they build a team around him that he can do better with, and that he has to support the running game. Everything has to be right. That's the main thing.
That's where your faith in the front office, has to come into play. If we know that, they know that. So that's why we've been consistent from day one, bro. Like everybody was like, that's one player. You're not going to beat. There were people up on this panel, not anybody up here. I don't think it was you, Esteban. I hope it wasn't you, but it was.
I'll take it.
You had people up on this panel saying that if they take a quarterback with their first round pick, they will not be able to address every other aspect of the thing. I'm like,
no one ever said that.
Like that. Yes, they have. Yes, they did.
And this is for TD. Let me ask TD.
They said it. It was said, and here's why it was said, because I was one who I didn't say that quite myself, but here's what I want to argue for the people who aren't here to defend themselves on what Ian said. What they're saying is this: if you're trading up and getting rid of a lot of the top assets to do so,
nobody.
I know, Ian. I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I know what you're saying.
My deal was never.
They're gonna have enough regardless, okay?
Right.
But that's what they were feeling. If you're trading up, like say you give away all 3 first-round picks just to go up.
No.
Yeah, I know. Ian, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
This is what they're saying. If you were to give up all 3 of the first-round picks, then it's like, okay, yeah, you got a lot of assets, but none of them are top assets to get, like day one hopeful starters. So that's what they were arguing. But I know what EM's saying. We got enough. We got enough.
I never formulated an opinion like that about Tua. I always knew that Tua had talent. I never told y'all that. I know he has talent. My only thing was in the college season, in the heat of the moment, when nobody was talking about Burrow, I was just making that. My point was that Burrow was legit, and when that game happened, I was telling y'all that I felt that LSU was going to win that game.
Brother, I got into it on here with eye test, and he started calling me names because I said I would take Burrow today over Josh Rosen. So you weren't the only one talking about Burrow, brother. I took bullets on the panel.
I remember that. You know what? I remember that, Esteban. And you are correct on that. And
I just brought up Hurts, which is I would after the Senior Bowl, man. I mean, I would maybe sit around.
Wait. We're not going to kick eye test in right now, where he is not here to defend himself. Okay?
No. I'm not going to get what eye test said. I'm just saying after the Senior Bowl, I wouldn't even draft him. Maybe even touch him till like the 5th round. You could use him like they use them in New Orleans. You know,
what's his
what's the guy's name? The guy from New Orleans. What's
Taysom Hill.
There you go. You could use him like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's not first or second.
Hey guys, let me jump in here real quick. Give me a little bit.
He's a gadget guy.
Give me a little bit. And I'm going to get off here, but I just want to say I give my support to TD. And you guys are the best. I've learned so much from listening to this panel. Insanity, EM, Reason. You guys are the best on listening and learning. I don't know a quarter of what you guys know. But I want to tell you this. It's good to have TD's channel and be able to learn all this. But let me say, I was for Burrow. But when we tried as hard as we did this season, and we showed that we're not losing, we're not just giving up. And then when Tua fell to number 5, maybe hopefully then everything worked out for us that we get Tua at number 5 if he's healthy. I'm all for Burrow too. I'm all for Love. But I think Tua gives us the leadership and experience and the drive that he wants to get this team successful. I think that's what got me on Tua. I think if everything else falls into place and we get our 2nd and 3rd first-round pick after Tua, I think we're going to be golden. I think we have a great leadership team. I think we're going to be great. No matter who Flores picks, I'm behind this team because that's who I am for the last 53 years. I've been a Dolphin fan over 50 years. So I'm all about this team and about you guys. TD, you need to raise up your Patreon because I want to give you more. You need to go higher, bud, because you are really the best out there, so I appreciate you.
Man, Vic, before you leave, man, I wanted to say I appreciate you being the first Patreon, always showing your love and support. That's just real talk. And you know what? I know you're a great guy because when you just said, you appreciate Reason, Esteban, Finsanity, for you to actually mention Ian's name into that, that shows that you give credit even when it's not due, and that's character, man.
Well, here's the difference. EM and I have different personalities. Okay, I'm the laid-back, quiet one. I don't say a lot, but when I say stuff, I do it for a meaning. EM, you're just everywhere, brother, and I appreciate you. And I know you love me. You love the team just like me. But you know what, EM? You were right, okay? And I appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate it, man.
Again, just a stand-up guy to say EM is right, man. We love you, Vic, man.
All right, guys.
Hey, but we appreciate you. Real talk, Vic, man.
You guys have a great night.
I like your statement a little bit. I don't
Go
want
ahead.
to comment
I'm
on it, but I understand where you coming at with your statement, Kavandra Hill. I'm gonna acknowledge that one. All right.
Oh, I thought she was talking to Vic. Okay.
No, I'm talking to somebody in the chat. Somebody's comment in the chat. I was acknowledging what you said because I mean,
we love you,
guys.
Vic.
I'll be listening. Hey, appreciate being a mod, and I enjoy it. TD, you gotta keep up good work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Night.
Take care, bro.
Can I throw something out? Can I throw something out, TD?
Absolutely.
So I found something that was very interesting today. So PFF, when they grade like accurate throws, right? There's a stat called accuracy plus. Okay, so accuracy plus is so a throw in the frame of the body, right? That's considered a frame throw. Okay, a throw in stride is considered accurate. A throw in front of them, but they can still make the play is considered a front throw. Okay, so those 3 categories are lumped in into the accurate category. Okay,
is this NFL or college we're talking?
This is as a passer. Okay.
Tannehill number one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So passes in the accurate and away from coverage buckets. So how I just explained it, they get an accuracy plus designation, which is the highest attainable level of accuracy a quarterback can have when they throw, according to their studies.
I know exactly where he's going with this.
So, quote, cautious of Tua Tagovailoa because of his elite supporting cast? Don't be. He owns the second highest rate of accurate plus passes on tight window throws over the past 2 years. So tight window means you're covered. Like that's got to be almost a pinpoint accurate throw. So when I hear everyone talk about Tua and the supporting cast, I'll tell you right now, number one isn't Joe Burrow.
First of all, I dubbed him
Burrow has a better. What?
I dubbed him to a touch. His touch is beyond me.
Oh,
like
really?
the way he dropped that ball is beyond me.
Insanity. I don't know if that's 100% true because in the beginning, I don't know. You were up there with
First of all,
and
I
don't know if that's 100%
can I say something?
true.
I was not for tanking for Tua. That's something I would never get behind. I was never for tanking for Tua. My thing is like this. I know how good the man is. I watch him every Saturday. I'm a Bama fan. Like if people don't know, I support the U, but I'm not going to like go out my way to go, order the ACC network to watch them get trashed. No offense to the U fans on here. You guys got De'Aaron King, so next year
We're offended.
You could do well. You got De'Aaron King for Houston, so good luck with that. But no, I wasn't for our team tanking for somebody. I don't care if you're suddenly coming to Joe Montana. Don't tank for the guy. Go out there and play the game. You're paid to do it.
That's been a while back,
Go ahead. Listen, I was the one Chase Young. People will tell you if he had the first pick, take Chase Young. Because I'm a defensive person. Go ahead. There's film on it. I said it on my mouth, Chase Young. But now that we have a fifth pick and Tua's going to drop to it, why not? Chase ain't going to be there. If Chase and Tua are on the board, I'm going to say take Chase. I don't care. Like that's where my stance is at. It's not going to change.
What worries me about Chase is the responsibilities he would have in his defense. He's never even sniffed. He's only ever been asked from the right end or the left end to pin his ear back. He's never been in coverage. He's never covered the flat. He's never done any of that. So that's why I would be worried about it.
That has been my consistent criticism of this Chase Young possibility coming to Miami.
When you break it down right now, he would have to be developed into a scheme fit. Because right now he's
I need a defensive end who's going to come off the edge.
Thank you.
Off somebody's back.
I think Flores is
backside, line side.
The Flores doesn't
and be out here knocking balls out of quarterback. Dropping back coverage. Are you kidding me? That's our problem now. We always dropping back.
That's not what
we always dropping back. That's our problem now.
No, you need to research the scheme because that's not what they asked.
Exactly.
Okay, so my thing's like this. You're talking about scheme. Things can change.
AJ,
There's one thing you don't say. We need a pass rush. Do we not say that? So now you're telling me that you want to get a defensive end so that he can drop back?
What do you mean?
What you're saying to me.
Hold on. Did I say that's all he's going to be doing? I'm saying he's going to have to maintain multiple responsibilities. And I'm not saying he's going to be. He's never been in coverage. He's never even sniffed the flats. So right now, if you're asking for a scheme fit, AJ Espinosa as a day one scheme fit is a better scheme fit.
So Espinosa is your guy. That's the end of it. Okay, I want a guy that on first down, second down, third down, and even possibly on fourth down, if they decided that, you know what, they might have to double that guy because he's coming. He's coming for your quarterback. I don't want them thinking, oh, is he going to drop back? That's what I have linebackers and slot cornerbacks for. But it's okay. We want to keep Knotson in a pass rush. We will keep getting beat. And
Who's saying that? Who's saying that? Who's saying that at all? No, AJ, what I'm saying is AJ
I'm not going to go with I'm saying
that. Hold on. No. AJ can pin his ear back and rush. So can your Gross Matos. But they can also take on other responsibilities because they've already shown that they can do that. Really? What you're saying is investing a top pick in a guy who's only proven to ever pin his ears back, and that's all he's ever been asked to do. What I'm saying is if for him to ever become a scheme fit in the defense we currently run, he would need to be developed into that and basically be shown and taught how to carry out responsibilities that has never been done. That's never, never done before.
All I'm saying is if we are going to draft Chase Young, I want him to be there to bring the aspect that we have not had, and that is getting pressure on the quarterback. That's okay if one thing is like this, that can be developed. Oh no, hold up, wait, because I'm talking right now. Ian, hold up. What I'm saying is that for so long that has been a problem of ours, not getting pressure on the quarterback. That's all I'm saying. If I'm saying who was the best guy and the one who was most likely to go out there and get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, such as a pocket quarterback like Sam Darnold, and then you got the versatility of Josh Allen out there. All I'm saying is that I personally would like, I'm not disagreeing with you guys' point about a scheme fit or about what he can and cannot do. What I'm saying is that for the last umpteenth years, I have seen quarterbacks be too comfortable in Miami. Quarterbacks be too comfortable when they're going against us. And all I'm saying is it's about time for that to stop and for that to end. If you want your defensive end, I mean, listen, if a defensive end can't read that they're trying to run, like throw out a screen real quick, then he shouldn't be a top pick anyway. If he can't see, that type of movement and all that, then that's between him, God, and the coaches that did not prepare him for that moment for NFL football. All I am saying is that I would like a guy who is the best at doing what I want him to do. If they want to develop him and, make him more of a coverage guy, isn't this the same problems we have with what they thought Deion Jordan was supposed to be a good cover guy, and he couldn't cover squat from here to East Mississippi.
No, Deion Jordan could cover.
No. Here's the thing,
bro. You're just saying the same thing over and over again. What are you gonna say?
Like you guys are really trying to attack me because you guys like a different guy. From the beginning, you can go back when TD first started talking this way back in September, have been on Chase Young. If he doesn't fit our scheme, I don't give a hoot nanny. I want somebody who's going to get after the quarterback. That is your job.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is there's guys who fit our scheme and also get after the quarterback.
But not like Chase Young.
What do you mean? Look at when Penn State played Ohio State. Gross Matos put up 5 tackles, 4 sacks.
And you know what? All Chase Young is asked to do is pin his ears back. That's it.
Listen, hold on. Where's Gross Matos expected to go?
He's probably going to go in the teams.
We're in a
rise.
I think he's going to go anywhere from 15 to 25.
Early 20s.
Listen, Finsanity, I want Chase Young too. These guys don't want Chase Young because if we get Chase Young, it means no Tua. It's that simple. It's that simple.
No Isaiah Simmons.
I'm teasing.
I gotta go, man. I want to give my last. I want to give my last. All
right.
My goodbye to you guys. Look, this is what I got to say about the whole defensive end position. Any of those guys, I feel that we have the coach that can coach, whether it's scheme or not, can fit him into the game plan and use him to our benefit. Any of those guys, Gross Matos, Chase, Weaver, any of those guys. I think we have the right coach on defense that can coach any of these guys up and make them valuable. The last thing I want to say is I guess I got to address this to Reason and EM. Sorry, TD, man, but that pass that Mahomes made where he overthrew that dude in the Super Bowl, I know we're not getting Burrow. I know, so I'm thinking Tua or Love. Who are we gonna draft?
What are we talking about?
I'm just saying. I feel that Tua could have made that throw, man. That's all.
Yeah, Tannehill could have made that.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
We'll see how later.
Yeah, Tua could have made that. Tua could have made that throw, but Reason acknowledged Tannehill could have made that throw. And Reason, listen, man.
Are we talking about the Jimmy G throw?
Yeah, the Jimmy G throw. And Reason, listen, man. Yeah, I know I'm drama filled, man. I was just messing with y'all, man. I was messing with y'all about the y'all don't want Chase Young because then we won't be able to get to it. I'm drama filled.
No. You know what? I hold on. I never said I wouldn't take him, but what I said was he's not a scheme fit. So I said he would have to be grown into a scheme fit, developed. So what I'm saying is, if you took him at 2, you're not going to see the results right away that you would see from a guy who's more comfortable in there.
And see, when you're picking that high, you have a scheme on offense and defense. If you're picking that high, You want to pick a player that on tape they've consistently put on tape every week the responsibility that you are going to play that are going to be placed on him when you incorporate it into your scheme.
Yeah,
so, this is why I've been consistent about Chase. Well, that's another topic that we clashed about all year. It's Chase Young. I said, man, get out of that 2 a.m. Sports Center highlight mentality, bro, and that's why I always preface everything. Get in the film room, please. Please get in the film room. You'll learn something. But I'm not saying Chase Young when we do our big boards. I'm doing the edge players. Chase Young is on my list primarily because he's not number one. I might be giving it away right now. He's not number one, but he's on my list because of his obscene pressure rate that he generated this year. That can't be ignored. But
thank you. I'm glad you said that because
I never said ignore it, TD.
No. I'm not debating you. I'm saying thank you. I'm glad you said that because the people that be in our comment section that don't know nothing about football most of the time, like I just saw a comment that says, "Is he even good?" His last few games, he was non-existent.
Oh, he's good.
They don't realize
he's good.
Just because he doesn't have a sack doesn't mean he was non-existent. They don't know what pressures are. They don't understand how that impacts the game.
He has the highest pressure rate. He has the highest, and I'm not even talking about sacks. I'm talking about pressure rate. That is when you impact the quarterback the most. And his pressure rate is the highest in the last 25 years, bro. You can't ignore that, and I can't. And I've been critical of not necessarily Chase Young the player, but Chase Young the scheme fit. But I did put him on my list because what he does is exceptional. So he's on my list, but I will articulate exactly why. I always tell y'all all the time. I try when I evaluate players this time of year, I always try to look through the lens that our coaching staff looks through. I remember from day one when they asked Chris Greer and Brian Flores about the lack of pass rush. What is your plan for the lack of pass rush? And they asked about, is there anybody on this roster that could be, could possibly fill that role? What did they say? They said, well, we don't rely on one individual to just pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. We rely on the scheme. We rely on constant movement up front in our front seven. It's so many different. The terms they use were exotic.
The last time was really like that effective. There's a reason why they let him go. Like, come on, J. Rose. Like, we kept saying that Wake needed a compliment to him because he was getting doubled so much. So, like, come on, like, let's really be honest. When's the last time that this team has had a valuable pass rush where we were like, you know what? If anything, goes wrong, we're going to be able to get that last sack. No, come on, don't do that, J. Rose. Don't come on here and talk to me about it. Don't be back there.
What did he say? What did he say?
Because he said he was talking about Cam Wake. Well, okay, Cam Wake is old, but Cam Wake was also, I will say this, Cam Wake was getting held a lot. A lot of holding calls were never called for Cam Wake. I will say that. But like when I mentioned I said a pass rush. Cam Wake was not getting there because he was getting held.
But you know what? That says a lot because Cam Wake is similar to what Chase Young is. And you see how they devalued him. They obviously they didn't place a lot of value on that type of player because they let him go to Tennessee.
But all I'm saying is,
I'm not saying Chase Young can't, but what I'm saying is he hasn't put that on tape as consistent as Gross Matos, as AJ Edmond. I know exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
So for y'all to try to give that unfair evaluation, he will have a full day. He will have a combine. I was just attacked because you say he doesn't fit our scheme, but you don't know what he can and can't do because he was not.
But the argument can be made that when you're picking in the top 5, you want a close to a sure thing as possible. And if you are not, if he's not exhibiting the responsibilities that you will require him in your defense, okay, you're making at that point you're making more of a projection. And you're picking in the top 5. You're making more of a projection, and that's when you get killed. That's when you get fired.
But Ohio State's secondary was solid. But like that's the thing. So he didn't have to do that. Ohio State's secondary and linebacker core could handle that. All they asked him to do was go make that quarterback uncomfortable. So for y'all to say that, No,
Insanity. Nobody said
I was attacked because you guys said he didn't fit our scheme, but now you're backtracking and saying, I'm just asking, was he asked to do that? So for you to say he can't do that, or he can't, no. For you guys to say
nobody ever said he can't.
Or do it under another.
No one said he can't. I said if you draft him, you're gonna. I said if you draft him, which I said I was fine with, Flores would have to grow him and develop him into the scheme. I never said he can't do it.
They took that same approach on Deion Jordan and Charles Harris, and how did that work out?
Ain't none of them was a prospect.
He's way better. He's way better.
None of them was a prospect like Chase Young.
Listen, I'm talking about. No, listen.
I'm out.
I'm talking about from making a projection of what he could, like Deion Jordan when he was at Oregon, he was basically a stand-up linebacker at Oregon. They drafted him number 2 overall, trying to make him a 4-3 defensive end. We saw how that worked out. Same thing with Charles Harris. So all I'm saying is he's a better prospect than him. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying, when you're talking about projecting and you're drafting in the top 5 and you're making projections of players, bro, that's where you get fired.
Then why do you want to draft Tua?
Because Tua has consistently put on tape. Okay.
Injuries.
Oh man, stop it.
90+ QB ratings over 2 seasons.
From a skill set standpoint, Tua checks every box, any scheme that we deploy next year. Tua has put on tape that he will flourish in.
So
only box he's checked consistently was the IR box.
Not really, because he's the only college quarterback to be graded over 90 in all of his seasons as a starter.
Yep.
Joe Burrow didn't do that.
Mr. IR.
Hey, the grades don't lie, and either do the film, brother.
What's up, Elder Bruce Jones? Shout out to you, homie. Glad you're here with us. Talk to us, man.
Hey, how's it going, TD? Hey,
I'm great, man.
Reasons, Fanbase.
How you doing, sir?
All right. Thank you. I just want to say this real quick, TD. This is a very important draft coming up in our history of our franchise. And whatever decision that we make in this draft here, it's going to set. If we make the wrong decision, it's going to set us back probably 10 or 20 years more. So we have to hit on every single pick in this draft. If it's a quarterback, from quarterback to edge rusher to tackle, whatever case may be, we have to hit on every single one of these picks.
So do you think we will?
Well, hopefully we got the right coaching staff, the right GM, finally got the right GM to make that decision. And everything that we've been doing so far has been dead on, so pretty much.
So hold on, because I'm going to hold you to the fire. You say hopefully we have. Do you think we have?
Well, I had the same debate with my brother. He's saying that Greer was still part of the solution. I said, listen, you got to give Greer a chance because he didn't make all the decisions back then when he had Tenenbaum and all those cats. Yes, he was a part of the organization. Now he's in control. So now you got to give him the opportunity to make the right decision. And so far, he's been doing that.
And I agree with that. Now, with that being said, I want to actually shift gears here because I want to go into a whole nother question, guys. Can I ask
one question?
Go ahead, Reason. When you're done, I'll continue.
So I do agree with what you said about Greer because from what I understand, the 2016 draft is Greer's blueprint, like his fingerprints are all over that, and that is one of our best drafts in recent memory. But so let me ask you this. When you say we got to hit on every pick, you mean all 13?
The first 3 picks, the first rounds, the first 3 rounds.
Or do you mean like the first 5 in the top 60?
Right.
That's what you mean, the top 5? I'll agree with that. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because 13 picks that's a lot to ask for. Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify.
If we hit on all 13, Super Bowl, baby.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Every agency. We got to hit on that.
I just want solid contributors. That's all I want. From first round through the 7th round. If we can get solid contribution from half of those, we're on the right trail.
Shout out to Elder Bruce Jones sending a donation via Cash App. A lot of people don't send it via Cash App. I don't know why.
Yo,
Quincy
did this
Riddle.
guy just? Are you serious with this comparison?
First of all,
brother?
he didn't even spell
Bro,
the name right.
Come on. I literally heard a scout talk about him yesterday. You know what they said? They said he is Drew Brees from the left side. And what have I been saying? He's Drew Brees with Russell Wilson mobility. Y'all need to stop. You need to stop that.
Hey, I got some advice.
You wildin'.
I got some advice for Mr. Riddle.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Hey, Mr. Riddle, please get in the film room. Please get in the film room.
Don't get Quint riled up. You know Quint gonna come on here and bring that fire to you.
Quint better go sit down somewhere, bro. You better go somewhere. You better go sit down somewhere. He thinking he bringing that heat to me.
All right, I want to shift gears real quick, y'all. I want to shift gears because I want to go ahead. I want to hear from all 5 of you guys. All right, I'm going to give you a scenario. Well, I ain't going to give you a scenario. I'm just going to read this off, and I want you to give me the scenario, okay? Dolphins trade up and down. So what you need to do now is tell me, if we trade up, what does that look like? What are we giving up and who are we getting? And if we trade down, what are we getting in return and who are we getting? So I want you to think about that. I'm gonna give y'all about 30 seconds to soak that in.
Wait. TD, you were chopping off. Say that again, bro. What's that?
Okay, I want y'all to give me 2 scenarios, okay?
Okay.
If the Miami Dolphins trade up, what are we giving up and who are we going to get? And if we trade down, what are we getting and who are we getting? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Both scenarios, both ways. Yes.
I'm already ready.
Like who we
ready.
may be trading with and what we may be getting or what we may be giving up, whatever it may be. Any volunteers first, or do I need to just call on someone?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Let's go, Reason. The reason that we're here.
So if I'm trading up, y'all already know who I'm moving up for. I'm moving up.
Burrow. Okay.
No, I'm trading up with the Detroit Lions. I'm trading up with the Detroit Lions at 3 right now. Their value of the pick is around 2,200. I'm giving them the 5th with a value of 1,700, and then I'm giving them the 26th, which has a value of 700. So I'm now over it by 200, and then I'm throwing in a future conditional 4th rounder, and that conditional 4th rounder is based upon Tua playing, basically, and it's going to be based upon games played. And then I'm going to move up and I'm going to draft Tua Tagovailoa. Now, if someone leapfrogs me for number 3, I'm going to do what Anthony suggested. If I think that, Herbert or Love are going to be guys that the Raiders are going to fall in love with. I think they need someone to go into Vegas with. So I'm sitting here. My pick's valued at 1,700 at 5, and the Raiders are calling with 12 valued at 1,200 and 19 valued at 875. I'll just say, you know what? Give me the 2 first this year. Let's go.
2 first this year.
Yep. And then at 12,
who are you targeting? And
then at 12, because guess what, TD? I am 1 position in front of the Indianapolis Colts right now. Yeah. So I am taking Jordan Love, and then now I have the 18th, the 19th, and the 26th pick as well in the first round. Talk to me.
So which scenario is better to you, Reason?
I love them both. I'll take either or. I'm 50.
I need nope. You know it ain't that easy on this show. You got to give me one.
I'll take Tua because I know it's Love that I need I see with Tua. I want to redshirt him a year just to kind of dwindle down those concerns about his durability. With Love, I know I need a year or 2 to acclimate him to the game speed. I need to work on his decision making. I need to create an offense that not only gives him a open first read most of the time, but I need to figure out how that second and third read are going to be more available and how he starts to recognize them more. So I got more to work on with Love.
Man, before we go on to the next person, I got to tell you, Reason. First of all, I liked your scenarios there, but you really, like, real talk, bro. This ain't me trolling. You hurt my feelings, man. It's like It's like, bro, like, come on, man. If you can go grab Jordan Love, and we know, the comparison with him and Tua for you are night and day, maybe, right? But if you could draft Jordan Love and then have 3 more first round picks, you're gonna pass on that.
So my whole thing with that is, okay,
just for Tua,
I have to look at historically, right? So with Love, now I have 4 first round picks, right? Out of those, realistically, what are going to hit? 2, 3, maybe. Let's maybe
4. What if all 4?
How many times have we seen the Browns and all these other?
But let me ask you a question: if all 4 were to hit, what does that do for this team?
Oh, okay. But now I still have one extra. I have 1 first round pick still, but I also could possibly have a guy who could bring me Super Bowls in the next couple of years. Whereas Jordan Love, it's more of, I don't know if after 2 years, if he's going to get to where I need him to get in the decision-making department. I'm not going to pass up on probably the most polished quarterback to come out since Andrew Luck as a passer. Like, to me, he's a game changer right now. You want to develop Love into a game changer. That's the difference.
Jordan, oh my gosh, 2 of the most polished quarterbacks to come out. Oh my god.
Since Luck.
Hey.
The number.
What about this?
It's deep ball alone.
What about this? If we were in a scenario to where we're trading up, okay, we got 3 first round picks. What if we were to trade up into the top? Well, further up into the top 5, but we don't have to give up.
We're in the top 5.
Further up.
I said further up. So what if we were to trade up further up and say to 2, like the Redskins? Because I did see a scenario where Miami would not have to give up their 5th pick. Okay, they would package their 18th, 26th, and a 3rd rounder. I'm sorry, and a first rounder from next year for that number 2 pick. And I think it was a couple other picks as well. So we would be we would have 2 picks in the top 5. Is that something y'all would y'all entertain that?
Well, let me comment on that real quick. First of all, we already knew that first pick is Tua for you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people say.
I need to know who that second pick would be.
I was just going to tell you, I've seen the scenario EM's talking about, and a lot of people are throwing it out as you get the best edge available on your board and you get the quarterback.
If it's me, if that scenario happens and I'm sitting again at 5, I'm trading down. I'm gonna trade down. I'm gonna pick up the phone and call John Gruden, and I'm gonna say, "Look, hey, can we work something out for the 2 first round picks that you have?" And I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna trade back to 11. And again, it depends on the evaluation they have on Jordan Love. It just depends. If they love
let me ask you something, Liam. So you're taking our 2 late ones, right? And you're giving them away to trade up, but then that is contingent on, are you saying it's contingent on us being able to take our 5th and being able to get the 2 back from the Raiders? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're going to do?
Exactly.
So you basically so we're still going to have 3.
Exactly.
No. Finsanity, you missed the pick, Finsanity. He also included next year's first rounder because that's what it's going to take to get it done.
Yeah. We got 2 first round. We got 2 first round picks.
You got to give up 3 first round picks overall to get that number 2.
No.
So let me say this, EM, because I see where you're coming from, but here's my thing. I like the scenario. I like picking at number 2 and number 5, and according to you, taking that number 5 and getting 2 more picks later. I mean, I like taking number 2 and number 5 off rip regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, man, I'm greedy in this regards. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you what I mean by this. If TD was GM and in the perfect world, here's what I would do.
Oh boy.
I know it's an old boy. I would take the number 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could go to the Raiders and get what again, Reason?
12 and 18 would put them about 300.
So hold on.
That was mine.
So now I got 12. Tell me all the picks I got now. 12, 18,
19, and 26.
19 and 26.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now I'm taking number 12.
That's where you go.
And I'm trading that back to try to get.
Oh, wow. You're wilding
Wow.
buddy. We're gonna end up with Jalen Hurts and everyone else.
Here's why.
This year.
Here's why. Like I said, I'm greedy. Because if I take the 12 now, because first of all, I got 4 first-round picks now, right? If I take 5 and go to 12 and whatever, right? Now, if I take the 12 and I go back for it now, I'm not going to get 2 picks this year because nobody has 2 furthermore in the draft. I'll have to get 1 this year and 1 next year, right? I would take that 12 and I would get somebody in the 20s and I'll get there this year and their next year and the 3rd this year. So I'm looking at I'm looking at
it right now. So that 12 would be worth about 1,200 points. So if you're in the 20, theirs is worth 850 points. 29, Tennessee, theirs is worth 640 points. So
I'm taking 10. I'm taking 10 and 29. I mean, what am I taking again? 20 and 29.
So I'm just telling you what they would be worth, like in terms of value up against your pick. So
if we go off of the value, that's going to leave me with this. That's going to leave me with 19, 20, 26, 29. That's 4 first rounders this year. They're just later. So now I don't have that $11 and $13 million cap hit on number 5. I don't have those team cap hits of 6 and 7 million. I just got 4 first round picks. And next year, how many do I have? 3?
2.
No, 3.
Oh, yeah, you
got
one.
2.
And
I got another 3rd this year. I mean, honestly, I'm trying. If I'm not number 1 or number 2 or number 3 this year, I'm trying to get out of the first. I'm trying to get out of the early first round game. I'm trying to get out of it at this point because it's too all over the place right now.
Hey,
do you know what we could do with 4 of those first round picks this year and 3 of them next year?
Yeah, dynasty.
I kind of like your idea, TD.
I feel like we only trade out of the 5th pick if 2 was not going to be available.
That's pretty much what I did.
That's how I feel. If 2 was not available, go ahead and trade that 5th pick. If 2 was available,
you know what? Me too.
You'd be better. I understand what you're saying, and I like it, TD. But because my thing is, we still got to see what's going on in free agency. So my thing is like this: is Fitzpatrick our definite answer? If you were to poll us, no. He has maybe a couple good years left. But now are we putting ourselves, what are we putting ourselves in position for in 2021? Like how much are we going to have to give up to have to go up and get Fields and Lawrence? So you guys like my thing is like
so much.
Exactly. So like I understand what you're saying, but like where are we at with our QB situation? We have to address, are we addressing it in 2021? Or 2020,
but here's what you have to realize in 2021. Just hypothetically, take my scenario, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, you're going off of the Texans' record.
Mm-hmm.
You're going off of the Raiders' record. You see what I'm saying? Those picks you have for the future, they might be pretty doggone good picks. Believe it or not. Mm-hmm. They might be some pretty doggone good picks.
And that's why when you
and if we need to drop our quarterback in on top, like a cherry on top, then we can go all in next year for Herbert.
And that's why when you put the scenario out there, the first thing I said was there's too many variables. To like
not Herbert, Lawrence. That's me, Herbert.
But you know,
brother, you don't want to touch that cost. You know how much I keep telling people in the comments. First of all, we're not going to be bad enough next year to even be sniffing probably the top 15. No. You know how much it's going to cost to move up?
The Texans might, or the Raiders might.
And then on top of that, whoever's picking number 1 overall, if it's not,
it's usually the most quarterback needy.
If it's not the Kansas City Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, or the Houston Texans, whoever's picking that number 1 pick, they are keeping and they are selecting Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and they're moving on.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
It'll be Luck Manning.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I just think that people underestimate this right here. 4 first-round picks versus 1 on a guy. Your probabilities, man.
You know what the problem you run into, TD, when you get into that kind of transcendent talent that we all believe he is? A team's going to look at that and be like, yeah, okay, for 4 first-round picks or a guy who has no injury concerns and for the next 15, 20 years could bring me 4 or 5 Super Bowls where I make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you're projecting on the 4 first you're going to pick, but Trevor Lawrence would be staring down at the barrel at you. That's the difference. The talent would be looking you in the face, whereas the 4 future first rounders, what if that team gets Trevor Lawrence, they pop off, they start winning Super Bowls, and you're picking at 32 every year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, that's good with me. That's a beautiful picture. Picking at 32 is the best place to pick.
Not when you want to leak quarterbacks. Not when you want to leak quarterbacks.
You just want a Super Bowl, right?
No. I'm saying the team that traded you the pick. Now that pick every year is 32.
I'm just talking. Yeah,
they're winning.
TD. You probably. I meant to mention this earlier. I forgot about it, but I just remembered. I'm sure you're gonna love this rumor, but I saw a scenario where in the event we do trade up to Washington, Xavien Howard would be a part of that package. Did you see that as well, Reason?
Sorry, I was looking at something. I didn't hear that. Sorry, what?
You know those reports about us trading up to number 2 with the Washington Redskins?
Yeah.
They were the package included Xavien Howard as well.
Oh, you saw an actual package.
Yeah.
I didn't say package. I just heard
exactly because they're moving off of Josh Norman in the offseason. And possibility
number 5. Hey, that might be all you need to get it done. Number 5 in Xavien Howard.
This is where I now you guys know I just said I'd trade up with the Lions. This is my problem. This is my problem with the Redskins. You don't need to make that trade. They're so sold on Chase Young, and Ron Rivera is so sold on Chase Young. You don't need to move up to 2.
I mean, reason. We should be pulling for that one, baby.
Stop it, TD. You should be ashamed.
That's a huge win for us. That would be a huge win for us.
You should be ashamed of yourself, TD. Stop.
Yeah, but now we got a big need. Now we have a big need.
That's the first thing good that ever came out your mouth. Probably in your life, man.
Stop. Hey, no, I'm not.
We can't trade X, bro.
That's all I'm doing.
I want to trade up.
That's all I'm doing.
You can't trade him, bro. Flores sees him as the Stephen Gilmore in this offense when he's healthy. I can't.
He used to.
I can't. I can't.
Cincinnati's not coming off that pick. So they're like, I say that we would trade up for Tua and not Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like,
that was sorry,
I'm talking about Burrow. Trevor Lawrence, we should be in position for Trevor Lawrence next year, actually, the way I see it.
Cincinnati might be forced to come off of that pick.
Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence next year. Talking about next year. I thought he was talking about Joe Burrow, so that was on me. But we might be in position to get him. We have a very tough schedule. I think we're going to be competitive, but like we're playing both teams that were in the Super Bowl. We might be able to be competitive against the Rams because they look like an abysmal mess right now. But Seattle, that's no slouch of a team. We don't know what Arizona is going to be because Kenyon Drake, we don't know what they're going to do with him. We don't know if they're going to bring, that's what I'm saying. There's too many variables. And I saw where possibly CeeDee Lamb could be going to the Broncos. CeeDee Lamb and Cortland Sutton. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, like, for us to say that we want to trade up, it's realistic that we will be picking, like, in the top 5 again next year, guys. And that's just me being honest. We're going to be competitive.
16-0, baby.
There you go.
That's the attitude right there.
Listen, Xavien Howard, for the life of me, I'll go on record saying it forever. He is overrated, okay? He's overrated. Y'all ain't got to believe it. You don't have to believe it, but time will tell. The man is overrated. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Y'all can argue with me all you want. Time will show y'all. Xavien Howard is overrated. He got in the Pro Bowl because of how many interceptions he had, okay? The man, listen, I watch his film. I see some bright spots, but it's too many for me. And on top of it, he's injury prone. On top of that, He's overrated. If we can get him in a package to move up, I'm all for it, baby. I'm all for it. Woo. And we get off that salary.
It's a crazy contract we gave him.
Hey, y'all can disagree with all y'all want in the comment section. Xavien Howard is overrated. The only reason some of y'all love him anyway because he was our only Pro Bowler in the last 2 years. So we're like, oh, Xavien Howard, don't talk bad about our only Pro Bowler in the last 2 years. That y'all holding on to what notoriety. That's all it is.
If you're going to trade him while he has value and not when you can't get enough for him. That's if you're going to trade him. Like if that's what you really want to do, Miami, trade him when you're really going to get something worthwhile.
The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see EM had hurt.
I would address you, but I know where all this stuff is coming from, so I'm gonna leave you over there. But go ahead, be great.
Man, the time is now, though. If you go trade him, you can get your max amount for him right now. You don't need to see him to take games playing like trash like he did last year and then get hurt again.
You need to stop. But you can always get him later in the draft. Draft another cornerback in the draft.
They found Nick Needham. Yeah. They found Nick Needham under a rock.
Well, you know what? Nick Needham might be our best corner right now if everybody healthy.
They found Nick Needham under a rock in El Paso, Texas, bro.
Then guess what? That's more of the reason. Hey, go trade X right now with that kind of money.
A lot of good corners, man.
I guess there's CJ Henderson.
There's so many scenarios you can go with that.
That would be available. Because, Jeff Okudah is totally going.
I don't think – I think next year I would be more inclined to move off of Xavien Howard. I want to keep him this year.
Yeah, see, but what's the purpose of saying you want to keep him this year and next year you're more inclined to move off?
Because if he comes in and he gives you another Pro Bowl year, that inflates his trade value.
Byron Jones is a free agent.
That is giving us no pro. Value. You what are you gonna get for X now? He has subpar year, according to his standards, and he coming off knee surgery.
I even go as far as saying the Pro Bowl year he had wasn't even a great year. He just got picks. Think about it. He got like TD. 3 in one game.
TD. That's part of that's part of that playing that position, bro.
You can pay the other side of it.
Get in the film room, bro. Get in the film room, bro. Get your behind in the film room, bro. Get your behind in the film room.
TD, that's what gets my blood pressure boiling with you. It's because he sits up here and he criticizes players for making plays. Like he was criticizing Patrick Mahomes the other day. He's making the play that's available, and he's criticizing him for it.
I'm not criticizing for making a play. I'm criticizing for making it seem like he's going to do that on a consistent basis. He hadn't showed that yet.
He's been doing
lies.
Who you talking? Wait. Who you talking about? Patrick Mahomes?
Xavien Howard.
Are you serious? Oh my God! Jeez, are you serious?
Bro, you can't even name one play when he was healthy he made last year. Not one. No. Hold on. Before any of y'all say something,
did he come back have a pick?
Hold on. Before any of y'all say something, legitimately, not one play can you name he made. Not one.
In the Pittsburgh game, he didn't make it.
Yeah, he had a pick.
He didn't play all that game.
He had a pick.
He locked down Juju Smith-Schuster, bro. When he was in the game, when he was in the game, we saw what happened.
Hold on.
You gonna let me talk? You gonna let me finish?
All I can think about is how Omari Cooper toasted him like he was a third. All I can think about
it happens. But remember,
No, I've been lying to him.
TD, hang on. Remember the previous year when he was in Oakland, they played us in South Beach? What happened?
Derek Carr, trash self was giving him.
Stop it.
Bro, I take it a step further, man. Xavien Howard, who was that played for the Patriots for his brief stint? What's his name again? That got suspended again.
AB.
AB, yeah. And he started getting toasted by AB. Listen, man. Listen. Listen, see, y'all want to make excuses for Xavien Howard in that Dallas game with Cooper. Oh, it happens. Amari Cooper was targeted freaking 14 times. The man literally let the man get like 11 receptions. Come on, man. Come on.
You know what I think? I think he wasn't
2
healthy.
touchdowns. He had
TD, I think the reason why Xavien Howard his subpar play last year was because he wasn't healthy. I think he wasn't healthy, bro. So now, if you want to put,
is that what we get to say about players that get injured all the time?
No. I was gonna say
they don't play great. Well, I don't think he's fully recovered.
No. But now, if you want to criticize him for his durability concerns, okay, have at it. But when he is healthy, bro, he's top 3 all day, and he takes the ball away. And he takes the ball away.
Yeah.
You know how many
Stop the buffoonery, bro. Get in the behind in the film room.
Bro, no. I've been
behind in the film room. I'm using your own room. I'm using your own words against you. Get your behind in the film room.
I live in the film room, bro. I live in the film room.
What you're living off of is an Xavien Howard who had a healthy Rashad Jones behind him, making him look good. And then when Rashad Jones wasn't behind him, making him look good, he looked trash. Facts.
Can you hear me?
Facts.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Boy, I hope that man coming to this season just as healthy as can be. I hope he is the healthiest thing ever. Because I don't want to hear nothing about he's still lingering. You know,
and if you recall, and if you recall that Baltimore game when Hollywood Brown was just tearing up everybody in our secondary, and when Flores he switched. He put Xavien Howard on him. You didn't hear from him for the rest of the day, did you?
Is that the same game that the Baltimore Ravens put up 60?
Yeah, same game. So I'm just saying, when a healthy Xavien Howard is top three cornerbacks that takes the ball away consistently all day, every day.
Top 3 on the Miami Dolphins.
No, top 3 in the league, bro. He's
top
that good,
3 on the Miami Dolphins. If y'all ever thought that Xavien Howard was elite, you just looked off the fact that he was the only Pro Bowler for the Miami Dolphins. Y'all gonna get a rude awakening,
bro.
If you don't get up off this contract now, y'all gonna learn the hard way. Mark my freaking words. I watched the freaking film on Xavien Howard.
No, you didn't. Obviously, you didn't watch enough. Obviously, you didn't watch enough.
Your words on you.
I live in the film room, bro. I live in it.
Get in the film room. Listen, man. Well, we don't see this year. I don't want to hear nothing about where he got injured again. I don't want to hear none of that mess.
No. I said that's part of it. If you want to ding him for durability issues, well, that's fine. I can't argue that. But I'm saying when the man is healthy.
I'm dinging this man for having a healthy Rashad Jones, helping him look good.
And first off,
what you fail to realize is when Rashad Jones was healthy, Xavien Howard didn't mind jumping routes, taking those chances. Now all of a sudden you gave him money, you put him on the island, and now everybody want to visit that island because it's just free. Everything is cheap in that island. You can get catches, you can get run after catches, you can get yak. You can. That's the vacation destination for everybody now. You can get more yak. You get, man. That's the best. Listen, you want a touchdown? Go to X Island. Go to X Island.
Bro. That's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's going to be the biggest argument next year. I'm here for it.
If it said it ain't gonna be no argument. Game one. Xavien Howard gives up.
I know what you're saying, and I understand what Ian's saying, but
he was giving up. He was like one of the worst rated corners in the league, man.
He was, bro. I chalked that up to him. He wasn't healthy. He was not healthy the whole year, bro. Look, he had offseason when they put him on IR. He had offseason knee surgery this year, bro. When we saw him, we saw his mugshot. Hey, when we saw his mugshot, he was on crutches. So I attribute that to him. I'm not laughing. I'm being serious.
I know, but it's just funny when you put in that context, bro.
I'm not laughing, bro. I'm being serious.
No, it's just funny. The mugshot. Bro, the mugshot. That's what I'm laughing at, bro.
I'm thinking about the mugshot with the brown suit he was wearing. It's just funny.
Hobbling in there.
No, I'm just saying he was. So again, I attribute this year to his subpar, according to his standard, and he said it was his knee. It was his knee issues. He wasn't healthy, bro.
And the mugshot.
Well, X, that ain't me, homie. If you listen, that ain't me. That's these other clowns laughing at you, homie. That ain't me, bro. That's these other clowns laughing at you, not me, homie.
Listen,
much respect.
I would like Xavien Howard to get in the
I got love for you.
all of
I
them
got
wrong.
love for you. Number love for you.
I would like X to prove all of us wrong.
Train him when you can get value for him. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Don't wait till the decline.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, EM. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If X tanks the next season and doesn't do well or get hurt again or takes another mug shot, whatever you want to call it, what is his value going to be at that point?
Well, you gambled, you took a risk, and if that scenario plays out, you lost. You lost, but now. What I'm saying is, if you try to trade. What are you going to get for him now? He's coming.
When he's healthy,
you see what some people are talking about? They say X has been our best corner since Madison. Not sure how so many people are hating on him. You think him being our best corner, Madison, or something? It's been forever.
It ain't nobody but TD hating on him. It ain't nobody but TD hating on him because you don't know any better. You don't know any better.
I guess that's a foreign language for y'all.
And hold on. Why are we skipping? Just because we traded them, we drafted Vontae Davis and Sean Smith. Don't forget about those guys. They were solid, man.
Exactly.
Oh no, solid, but they healthy. They were nowhere near Xavien.
No, I'm talking about the person who's saying that.
Okay.
We haven't really had good corners since Madison.
Let's be real now. Let's be real. Come on now.
X when he's healthy, I agree. I agree with you. When X is healthy, buddy, he's top 5 corner in the league. I agree 110%. But now it is starting to turn into if he's healthy. But at the same time, hey, Devontae Parker was, we've been putting up with his nicks and knacks for like 4 years, and he had a fully healthy season 4 years after battling durability issues, so he can turn it around. I'm not going to say.
Are we saying that Xavien Howard is a lockdown corner?
When he's
healthy, yeah.
When he's healthy, absolutely.
When he's healthy,
absolutely, bro.
He's better than Sherman.
Oh, clearly.
I'm just asking. So he's better than Ramsey.
Sherman.
You know what?
No.
I don't know if I can say that.
You know what? No. You know what? Jalen Ramsey is a better athlete, but again, I argue you can make X takes the ball away, bro. He takes the ball away he's respected like every other elite corner in the league when he's healthy. Teams shy away from him. So when they throw at him, he's taking the ball away at an obscene rate when he's healthy. When he's healthy, bro, it's crazy. So for you to sit up and say he ain't elite team, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know what tape you watching. It's that, you know what it is? It's that. I can't even say it's that Sports in the 2 a.m. highlight because I don't know what tape you watching, bro. That dude is elite as it gets when he's healthy. Now, again, that's the question mark when he's healthy. But I would argue one thing about Jalen Ramsey, and one thing about Jalen Ramsey as well, he's getting by because he's such an elite athlete. He's nowhere near skilled as far as his mechanics. He's not nowhere near on X's level or Stephon Gilmore's level. He's getting by primarily on his athleticism. He's flawed in his feet and he's flawed in his mechanics. He's not that good off the line in as far as pressing guys off the line, like not to the level of Stephon Gilmore or Xavien Howard. But all he's getting by right now is on his elite athleticism, athletic ability. That's Jalen Ramsey right now. So I don't get why people they're so enamored with Jalen Ramsey. They consider him the best he's the best in the NFL. I emphatically disagree with that, bro. He's got so many holes in his game. So many holes in his game.
I don't agree, but here we go. Let me try to answer this guy's question since he put a donation behind it. TD, name 5 or 10 cornerbacks that that R, I guess is what he meant with R, better than X right now. I'll wait. You ain't got to wait much longer, even though y'all disagree that Richard Sherman is. Whatever.
How you gonna say Richard Sherman, bro?
Okay, that's fine. What about Quentin Dunbar? Do you think he's better?
No.
My God, are you kidding me?
Keep going.
Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Marcus Peters?
No, absolutely not.
EM, you hating?
No, I'm being real, bro. I'm being real. Marcus Peters is too undisciplined, bro. Way too. He don't have enough structure in his game, bro.
Casey Hayward is better.
No, keep going.
Yes, he is. You probably don't even know nothing about the man game.
Really,
Tremont, what's the guy at Green Bay? Tremont. Will.
Okay. This is his second year. This is his second year, right?
It doesn't matter. Better. What's the guy in Green Bay? Tremont. He's better to me.
Okay.
Of a corner. The guy in Pittsburgh, not Minka Fitzpatrick, Steven.
Who? Wait. Who?
They got Steven Nelson, I believe. Man, hold on. Let me do this. Let me pull up on the computer.
Yeah. I think you need to do something because you.
I like Griffin.
See, the problem is,
I don't think he's better, but I like.
You know what the problem is too. Like we're comparing Howard, who's mainly a man guy, against Sherman, who's zone. Marcus Peters, who's zone. Like we're not comparing.
Exactly my point. Exactly.
It doesn't matter because Flores they run zone. It just depends on the scheme. It doesn't matter.
No, you go out. You go. Bro. Nobody. We are in top 3 as far as man coverage in the league. Us, New England, and Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Stop it.
You preference earlier that X was a top 3 quarterback taking the ball away. That's what you said earlier, Ian, by taking the ball away. So now you're saying they have to play man. Now you're putting another stipulation on it. But okay.
Oh, you said take the ball away?
Earlier you said he was the top 3 corner and taking the ball away.
I said, and he takes the ball away. In addition to his skill set, he takes the ball away. That's what I said. I said in addition to, so we're clear, in addition to, he also takes the ball away.
Do you think Kendall Fuller is better than him?
Yeah, I do.
Kendall Fuller.
Wait, you're talking about from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
EM ain't gonna think nobody's better.
No, I'm telling you, I think Stephon Gilmore.
Jason McCourty.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so on that.
Absolutely not.
Gilmore's definitely. Gilmore's the best in the NFL.
I think Xavien Howard
and Parker let him up.
I think Xavien Howard, when he's healthy, because of his skill set, in addition to him because he takes the ball away, with the exception of this year, at a higher rate than any other cornerback in the league. I think he's number 2 behind Stephon Gilmore.
So here's what the NFL said.
Do you think Marshawn Lattimore is better?
Here's who they say the top corners in the NFL are. Okay,
this year, right? This year, 2019.
No, just overall with their so
Okay.
far.
Okay.
Because you can't count X this year. That's unfair to him.
Okay.
Darius Slay's a beast too.
Yeah, he is.
All right,
He's
so
good.
on this list, Xavien Howard is number 8. Okay.
Number what?
Number 8.
He's number 8 on this list.
Who are the 7 in front of him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you. Give me a second. I gotta cut this music off. All right, so here we go. Number 1 overall in the league right now, not just this year, but overall. Number 1 is Derwin James from the Chargers.
Oh, so we're going safeties too.
No, Derwin James is a safety. He's not a cornerback.
He's a safety. He was hurt this year. He only came back in like week 13 or week 14.
Hang on.
Hang
on, TD. You should have saw that from jump. You didn't see that? Hey, I need to get
No,
I
scrolled down to it and read it right away.
You should have seen that from jump, bro. You talking about I need to get in the film room, really?
Hold on, I'm here he goes. Okay, they have Stephon Gilmore number 1. They have Jalen Ramsey number 2. They have Chris Harris, number 3. They have Patrick Peterson, number 4. They have Tre'Davious White, number 5. They have Casey Hayward, number 6. Again, he's there on the cornerback list. Marshawn Lattimore, number 7, and Xavien Howard, number 8.
Casey Hayward, that's he was with San Diego, right?
He's at the Chargers. And they got Xavien Howard, number 8.
You know what? Okay.
And that's overrated.
Patrick Peterson's a beast.
Yeah, but that's just the answer to this person Sammy's question. TD named 5 or 10. I don't know why you put 5 or 10, but I went ahead and named 7. I met you in the middle. So just so you know, you ain't got to wait on TD Fins Talk. I'll give it to you right away. That's 7. Do y'all want to debate those?
You can make.
I think X on a list of.
Can you read it again for me, TD? Can you read it the 7 again for me, TD? One more time.
Stephon Gilmore. I don't think we're arguing.
No one's arguing that.
Jalen Ramsey. We're not arguing. People have their stigmas.
I'm arguing that one.
I like Ramsey. So I won't argue it.
Go ahead.
Chris Harris. We know you are. EM.
You
gonna argue that one?
I'm arguing that one too. But go ahead.
I know you are. Patrick Peterson, number 4.
I'm arguing that one at this stage. Yeah, I'm arguing that one.
Tre'Davious White for the Bills.
Yep.
Are you arguing that?
No, that's a solid list. That's
a legitimate debate right there. That's a legitimate debate.
Casey Hayward for the Chargers.
No,
not a kid.
I debate that.
I don't even think didn't they cut Hayward? They cut Casey Hayward, bro. I think he's with the San Francisco 49ers now.
X is better than Hayward.
I actually think X and Lattimore should be up a little bit. I think Lattimore too.
Marshawn Lattimore is number 7.
I love Lattimore.
Xavien Howard is number 8.
Who's 9 on the list?
I think I've seen now.
So Harris and Hayward are the only ones that I would kind of shift down. That's just my personal. I would move Lattimore and Howard up, and I'd shift those 2 down behind them.
You have a legitimate argument with Gilmore, with Jalen.
Al Fuller is number 9, and Xavier Rhodes is number 10.
Yeah, I like both of those guys.
And I can't believe they got Xavier Rhodes on that list this year. Really?
Yeah, he's falling.
He got lit up.
He's regressing.
His passer rating against this year was like over 100 or something like that.
And I'm telling you,
he used to be so nasty.
I'm telling you, Casey Hayward, the Chargers cut him. He's with San Francisco now.
Well, he still is good.
No, he's not.
He is. All I know is Xavien Howard is number 8 on this list, and honestly, he should have been in the 40s, but that's not here.
But to be honest with you, TD, that's still outstanding. A top 10 corner, really?
He should be in the 40s. He should be in the 40s. You triggered, bro.
Hey, you gonna make X put his hands on you, TD, when he see you, bro.
Hey,
that's
listen,
what you gonna do. He gonna come up in the stands after TD, bro.
Hey, but guess what? Hey, I promise you this, EM. You ain't gotta worry. EM, I promise you this. You ain't gotta worry about me saying, hey, this is enough. This is the last time. You ain't gotta worry about that. I promise you that. You ain't gotta worry about the NFL coming down on him.
Hey, listen. As soon as the Dolphins come out of the tunnel, they'll be like, the camera goes, shit,
Yo, this man pulled out the phone and everything.
Listen, I can guarantee he's going on IR by halftime.
Man,
he's gonna get paid his contract for the rest of the year, and they got to do another thing for the rest of the year. I can guarantee you.
They gonna see X jump that. They gonna jump that fence and climb the stairs. What are they doing? Oh, is that TD? Oh, now we know why.
That's gonna be the last time you see him on the field. It's gonna be the last time you see him on the field for that season.
No. I'm just kidding. Hey, TD, I'm not trying to put that out in the universe, fella. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. 100%.
No, it's all good.
Bro, I just want everyone to realize that TD busted out the phone to legit take that call. Oh my God, that was classic.
Nah, we all good over here, but we gonna need an ambulance. I think his knee need to be scoped again. You need anything else?
Hey, I apologize for putting. I was just kidding, y'all. I am just joking. I do not want that scenario to happen. Stop. I don't want that. Let's stop. Let's move on.
It's all love, man.
Because you know the Dolphins listen to the stream. So let's move on.
We got to finish the trade up, trade down.
Yeah, man. Let's get back to the trade up, trade down, man. All right. All right. So, see, man, now you got me thinking about ordering this man the new pair of crutches, man. But anyway, all right.
Wow.
Man, you need to stop, TD.
Wow.
You need to stop, bro. Stop.
Order them in advance.
All right. hey, TD, when he caved that bird chest in, when he caved that bird chest in, don't say nothing, bro.
Ain't no birds right here, baby. It is. We fly. We fly, EM. I tell you, we fly.
I hear you, homie. I hear you. Let's move on. Let's move on, man.
All right, so here we go. Trade up or trade down. Who do we already hit, man? Who do we already get?
Me and Reason, I think.
All right, so Finsanity, what would you do in that scenario?
Like I said in the beginning, it's just too many variables. Personally, I wouldn't trade up. No. Hell. No, sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm got in trouble again. But I kind of have to see where we're at the free agency and see what needs we need, because there might be a player who can, like, who's a top player who can come in and fit in. Like, I really feel like we're jumping the gun a lot. I do like Reason's scenario. I did like your scenario, even though we need to figure out what we're doing at quarterback. Like when someone said like that, when I said that we could be a potential top 5 pick next year, or top 5, they said I was crazy. They said something like, or like, that's not going to happen. We don't know who our quarterback is. We don't know who our running back is. We're assuming that they're going to fix the offensive line. Like, we have too many variables and holes right now to be thinking about trading up and losing a lot where we can fill a lot of holes. If we're going to do anything, you can trade back. Like I said, if Tua's not there, go ahead, trade back, get more picks, because you can get one of these other potential future XFL quarterbacks, later in the first round or the second round. So, I mean, like I said, if we're going to go out and get a quarterback after Tua, I understand why some of you guys like Jordan Love. I'm really looking at our strength of schedule. And I know people said, like, a lot of things are going to change. And like I said, there's so many variables. But the possibility of us being in a position to get Trevor Lawrence next year without having to move up too much is a very real possibility. Like I said, there's just too many variables. But I'm not trading up in this draft. Heck no. We had to give up too much to acquire all the picks that we've gotten now. So if Tua is not there at 5, trade it back, get some more picks, and keep it pushing. I'll see you guys in 2021.
Yeah. Also,
come on, you're not gonna give us a trade back scenario?
Well,
a trade out scenario.
And also, Fansanity, don't forget, like, Justin Fields might be one of the best consolation prizes we've ever seen.
That's what I've been saying, dude.
You know
Fields is the truth.
Right.
At this point, I emphatically disagree with that. But go ahead.
He had one interception all year going into that game they lost. Like, he was unbelievable, brother. But anyways, continue on.
If someone say, okay, Cloud Life says strength of schedule from last season. Please, strength of schedule useless. Cloud Life did I not break down like the teams that we're playing. A lot of them are almost there. Like, we think that we're almost there. We don't know who our quarterback's going to be. You can't say you trust Ryan Fitzpatrick to get us in a wild card spot. No one. It's going to be like luck if we do that. You're talking about the AFC West and the NFC West. These are no slouch of divisions. Like, so don't tell me strength of schedule.
Agreed.
A lot of things are going to change, but a lot of those teams already have their quarterback going into next year. So come on. Like I said, if you guys want to say something, TD, drop the link and they can, give their little scenarios or whatever. But yeah, like I said, if Tua's not there, you can trade back. There's so many teams, who are going to be willing to take some of these XFL quarterbacks. Why not get some picks for them? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not too keen on Jordan Love. I understand that he's a project and all that. We already dealt with the project. The project kind of worked out in Tennessee, and he's doing his thing over there. And I'm so happy for his recent success. He did such a great job, handing that ball off and making key throws. I will say he made key throws when he had to, but come on, guys.
Not when it counted. Not when it counted.
You're giving up too much to trade out.
You know what?
Same scenario next year.
Insanity, you know what? Hold on, I gotta say this. Insanity, you know what? I've said it before on the past couple of panels. You're 110% right. I don't think a lot of these fans are really looking ahead and looking at what we have coming up. That's why there's been multiple times where you haven't been on the panel and we've been asked, what do you expect next year? And I've said that to me, 7-9 or 8-8 would be a drastic improvement. I know what we're facing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of looked at we should be getting 9 or 10 wins. And I'm like, if we get 9 or 10 wins, we're overly legit, because next year is a big leap in terms of strength of schedule, I think.
Hey, from the AFC West, what team are you really concerned about other than the Kansas City Chiefs? Are you concerned about Oakland? Are you concerned about Denver? Are you concerned about the Chargers?
I think Denver's concerned about Josh Jacobs and them and Terrell Williams and Renfro or with all those guys over there. Yeah, you put
Drew Lock. No. I think Denver's picking up Drew Lock.
They all have
behind.
Broncos can make the playoffs this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Drew Lock.
Okay. Legit, brother. And you know what?
You don't know who he is.
Defense and offensive weapons.
Hold on, Sandy. Here it is. I know lately you've heard the Dallas thing with Brady, but most of the smoke for Brady going to a team has been out of the AFC West with San Diego or Las Vegas. If they get Brady, brother, that division is another level. If he goes, I think he should go to the Chargers, because with all the weapons.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is another year. This will be a 44-year-old quarterback. Okay, that's another year of attrition that he's putting on his body. Okay, all the other teams is question marks at the quarterback position. Now let's transition to the NFC West. Okay, the San Francisco 49ers, that's a concern. The Seattle Seahawks. Okay, there's question marks on what their team is going to look like. As far as Jadeveon Clowney being there, they got several question marks moving. Going into this offseason. So we don't know. We don't know what their team is going to look like. But Arizona and I'm not concerned about Arizona.
Don't even downplay my boy Kyler Murray here. Remind all of you months ago that I said was offensive rookie of the year.
And I'm not concerned about the LA Rams. So come on now.
Kyler Murray.
And I'm telling you this.
Come on.
If we are as aggressive, are going to be as aggressive as what they're projecting us to be in free agency, bro, I can see 8-8 is extremely realistic. I think, or 9-7.
Kenyon Drake going to be running for his life against us, and don't sit here.
You don't know that, bro.
I just got to remind people. All of you were saying Josh Jacobs, and I was the one saying Kyler Murray, and now he's the offense. This kid. Next year, watch the leap this kid. I'm telling you, this kid's special, man.
Well, I'm saying right now. I'm saying,
you know what?
Yeah,
Mike makes a good point. I have them slotted as getting a guy like Tristan Wirfs or a guy like CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
And you watch out if they get a guy like CeeDee Lamb, brother.
Arizona,
I'm just talking about. I'm talking about as the way things stand right now. That's all I'm saying.
They scare me.
We don't know our offensive line situation, our defensive line situation, our secondary situation. We have so many questions that right now we as a team, we should just be looking like,
brother.
Hey, here's a good thing.
They beat the Seahawks.
Hang on. considering the improvement we had over the second half of the season, you really think there are that many glaring holes? You really do think that? Okay.
Absolutely.
You can't even run the ball.
Absolutely.
Well, again, I give you the run game. I give you the running game. But I'm talking about our defense played better, exceptional. Well, I mean, that's not saying much because we were historically bad the first two games of the year. Okay, I give you that. But I'm telling you got Xavien Howard. I know TD will disagree with this, but you have hopefully a healthy Xavien Howard coming back. Okay, they're gonna, the players that they are projected to be targeting in free agency. If we can bring in a Calvin Hoyt, we bring in Joe Tooney on the offensive line,
Calvin Hoyt.
These are all realistic options, and that immediately improves our team overnight.
But we need to score points.
But we're going
to points, not turn over the ball.
I can say this. I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay. I think, in my opinion, now I'm sure I'm gonna get killed on this, but from what I saw last year, especially I'd say the second half, well, when from the Washington game on, I haven't seen in all of the years Tannehill was here for 7 years. I never saw that level of stability at that position, and I'm saying that with a straight face.
That's all good.
They benched him and put him back in. Like
Ryan Fitzpatrick is as disciplined as he was this year, next year, with an improved offensive line, with all of our skill position weapons that we have. I'm telling you right now, we can have a top 10 offense all day next year.
What about?
And I am saying
that's a.
We're going against a lot of pass heavy. And
so hold on, let's get this straight now.
Top 10 now. Ooh, I don't know.
What was I telling y'all before last season even started? This might be the most consistent play that Fitzpatrick get his best year as a pro.
You did. I'll give you that.
Esteban, I was defending Tannehill. So that's the thing I don't get. People Esteban, come back, because I clearly said, didn't Tannehill have at one point the record for most consecutive completions? How is that hating on Tannehill?
Dude, we benched Fitzpatrick like 3 times this season. How's that consistent?
Do what now?
Hold on.
We benched him.
Hold on. Finsanity talk about Tannehill?
No, Esteban said I was hating on him, and I made a good point about him because he said that Tannehill never had that type of stability that Ryan Fitzpatrick played with. So I threw out the fact that at one point, Tannehill was thinking that ball so much that he had the most consecutive completions. But then here goes.
I mean, man. Stop.
I'm not talking about you. I'm addressing Esteban. I have no quarrels or with you. I'm addressing Esteban, saying that I am too. I hate Tannehill. That's the problem. Y'all not listening to what's coming out my mouth, and you just automatically assuming that when I say something about Tannehill, it's hate. Listen, that's what you're here for.
Finsanity. I break down Josh Rosen's flaws and what I see, and I don't make any cracks about him. I tell you what I see, what I've seen since UCLA, and I get labeled and I get dragged in the comments for being a Rosen hater when I'm just telling you this is wrong.
I've been called
Bro, don't let these people crazy. Don't let these people crazy.
And I want to be the most optimistic person about our team, but like realistically, looking at our team right now, let's be fair. We're all looking at like if these are all big ifs. Yes, we have the money. Yes, we have the picks, but these are big ifs. Like I said, to do a lot of these things, we're jumping the gun. You're asking me to evaluate a team that right now does not look pretty, but we see that could come. What we're looking for, the hope that this team could bring to us. It's very bright. It is very beautiful, but it has to happen first. You feel me?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I feel you.
Wait for that day, right? But until that day, this world is still a abysmal mess, ain't it?
Ryan Fitzpatrick was 8th in total QBR without even the sniff of a run game. 8th.
I just want him to be there to mold the next QB.
They're saying.
Throwing the ball up.
You know what? The one thing I loved about Fitzpatrick the most about the season is when after the O'Shea firing, how it came out how it was basically Fitzpatrick manning the whiteboard in the QB.
Exactly.
He's such a leader. He's such a leader.
I want this guy to be I
bro.
want this guy to be groomed as our next QB coach, and
he has to.
an assistant.
Exactly, bro.
Okay,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw. I mean, it's literally. I mean, running for his life the entire year, running for his life.
Our leading rusher, yo, a 38-year-old quarterback.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, honestly, guys, if we love something like that whiteboard, think about how much in love Brian Flores probably is with him.
With Tua.
Oh, of course.
No, not even with Tua. With how much you think? Like, imagine how much Flores loves and trusts Fitzpatrick.
And he said that.
He was, you know what I mean?
Of course.
He stayed. I mean, he basically was saying that every single week. I love this dude. I love him. Absolutely.
He's gonna be a coach.
Yeah.
He's one of those few players
I think so, too.
Transition. Yeah.
And he's gonna make a flawless transition.
Yeah, he's already doing it.
And see, that's why we talked about this on a previous stream. We know Fitzpatrick when he gets hot. You know what I mean? How the level that he can get to.
He's a
we also saw in the past one of his lows. I mean, man, it doesn't get any worse than that. But what I saw this year was the leveled off consistency, the discipline. We never saw Fitzpatrick in his game this year. We never saw that. And on top of that, again, 8th in total QBR without even not even a sniff of a running game, a presence of a run game. That is highly, highly impressive, in my opinion.
And not the best O-line at times in front of him.
The worst in history. The worst in 100-year history of the NFL. The worst. Yeah. Come on, man. So, that's why I'm saying if they are as aggressive in free agency, in particular on the offensive line, we will. I'm telling you, I am comfortable, extremely comfortable with saying that we will have a top 10 offense next year, all day, every day. I'm telling 100%.
you. I think a running game. I think a running game is going to be needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, there's going to be games where they take that away.
Oh, absolutely. But again, I just love our players. I just love our.
And another thing, another thing we got to address is, I had mentioned it before when we did the player cut screen, but now you're hearing basically what I was already hearing about Albert Wilson. Potentially they could be parting ways with him.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that lately.
He might go back to the Chiefs. Actually,
that would make sense because Watkins is going to probably get.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't he say he's taking a break? He's taking a year break from football.
Who?
Sammy Watkins.
Oh, really? I didn't. That's
smart. Yeah. He was talking about that or something. I saw that somewhere.
But I think I think his cap savings will be not his cap savings will be. I think the reason we were talking about this last night. His cap savings will be $9.5 million. So if you're projecting that Joe Thuney is going to cost you 11, there's basically your money for a Pro Bowl offensive lineman right there.
Yeah.
So I've been on record saying I like Albert Wilson. I wish we would keep him, but I wanted to shake him down. But if you're talking about cutting him and saving you $9.5, $10 million, and you got a Pro Bowl guard sitting there and Joe Thuney wants to come to play, he's saying, look, give me 11, give me 12 million. Oh no, Albert Wilson, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. I appreciate you. You just busted. Here's his buff ticket. There you go. See you.
And you know what?
Wide receiving.
There's going to be a lot of good wide receivers in this draft when you get into the third round.
Yeah.
There's still going to be speed guys available in that slot.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Y'all are really not gonna like me for this one. But it's 10:15, and we've been going 3 hours strong on this one. And the last one was 1 hour, so we don't put 4 hours in. And I want to try to save some for tomorrow. So y'all good with us picking up tomorrow where we left off?
It was just getting good, bro. What you talking about?
I am. You don't know what you be talking about. But anyway. Oh, man.
You know something, TD, though, for real? I didn't give you credit. Remember the last stream we had? I said I was going to give you credit for once.
Hold on.
Oh, hell no. No, you know what? No, you know what? I gotta go, fellas. You know something, man?
You a bum for that one, man. You a bum for that one. You ain't even right for that one. You know what,
Hey, 4:30 is calling me, homie. 4:30 is calling me.
You ain't even right for that, man. You just can't do it. You can't do it.
Hey, you know what though? No. Seriously. It was last week. I forget which day it was, and I was listening to Get Up. I think it was Get Up, and they had a debate on I think the biggest issue TD and I have had as far as debating is concerned is this whole theory about the quarterback being if your quarterback is consuming so much of the salary cap, it drastically limits your ability to be successful as far as winning a Super Bowl is concerned. And I've been arguing with TD about that theory, and I still am to some degree. But I heard them bring out the statistics, and they were articulating a lot of things, some things that I didn't know about this particular issue. And TD has been consistent. That's pretty much the only thing to my knowledge, that he's ever been consistent on. But I'm a man of my word, and I said I would give him his credit. I give you credit. I told you from day one, I will give you credit when you're right. It just so happened, that is few and far between that you're right, that you're ever correct on anything. But in this particular instance, it's not that I agree with it 100%, but I when they brought those statistics out, and they even talked about the teams, and they broke down I think the last 15 Super Bowl winners, I believe, and they talked about the year they won, what percentage of the salary cap that they were consuming, and so there is, in the past I've been killing TD on this issue, but with that being said, I'm gonna still kill him. Don't get me wrong, but there is some validity, to his stance on this particular issue. So I got to give him credit on that.
Tannehill GOAT.
No.
Tannehill GOAT.
No, hell no. I said nothing about Ryan Tannehill. I said nothing about
admitted
Ryan
Tannehill the GOAT.
Hell no.
So you know what's crazy? I saw I forget it. I don't know whether it was First Things First or First Take. I'm pretty sure it was whatever that show Dan Orlovsky's on, and I'm pretty
sure a lot of people have been talking about that lately.
He got texted, and basically what they're coming away with is Mahomes said he understands what it takes to win, and he's talking about apparently he's not going to set the market, that he's going to take a team-friendly deal.
If he does, then the league is in trouble.
Exactly.
So he said in the text that he's more focused on winning more than he is on basically getting paid. So you got a kid who just tasted it this young. I think he wants to go for Brady numbers here. I think this guy wants to go for them.
He will
the NFL might have a problem.
Warmly up the field with Super Bowls because you're going to get all the endorsements. It's American sport.
Exactly.
And he knows it.
But my position on that is I still think it's about how the salary cap fluctuates year to year. People's salary cap number fluctuate from year to year. I think it's more so about how you structure the deal, more so than just the cap consumption. Because you can always manipulate the cap. You can manipulate the cap on a year-to-year basis. So
I agree with that, but you can only do so much though than the manipulation.
I agree. But I must say, like I said, TD been consistent. I think that might have been the reason why I even jumped on the stream in the first place. That when you first started, TD, the open panel that night, I think I told Reason, I was like, man, this dude is coming with this. I said, let me get on the stream. It was like 12 at night or something, and that's what made me get on the stream to argue with you about this point. But you got a lot of, you have a lot of, it's a lot of, validity in what you're saying. So.
Oh my God!
Crazy to me.
I got to put this in the Hall of Fame stream.
When TD,
I have a lot of validity in what I be saying.
You better, because it don't happen often. So you better archive this one.
It hit me, and I knew I kind of agreeing with. Like, I get both sides of the argument, but where TD was really making those strong points was like last month or whatever, when he started breaking down, he himself broke down the percentages, and you saw like guys who were winning the Super Bowl were making like 9.7% of the cap, and then all of a sudden now you got quarterbacks making over 20% of the cap, and it hasn't even been 20 years. It had been like 10 years. Like what? Like
Mike Greenberg said that there hasn't been nobody.
Gonna get worse.
That's crazy. You got it. You got to hear from the people who you don't like hearing it from to realize that my brother from the beginning. Once again, this is the moment I live for, when people have to come back to TD and be like, you know what, man, you said that about 5 months ago, but now there's somebody on ESPN, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, Fox Sports said it. Now it
makes sense.
Now it's valid. Now
No.
We already got EM to admit, so we don't want to hear nothing else from him.
That's what it takes. That's all it takes. You ahead of the curve, man. You ahead of the curve. It took Patrick Mahomes to get it done.
Listen. For the record, I am not in 100% agreement with that. I just said there's more of what TD is saying. There's a level of validity there. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not in 100% agreement on that.
Come on now, y'all know from day one, people have been saying a lot of stuff I've been saying was crazy, and then when it happened, they like, man, you called it. Yep. Y'all better watch out. We might be trading Tunsil. Bro, I'm unsubscribing to you with that foolishness.
I can't recall that, but you know.
You don't remember I saying that we would trade Tunsil?
No.
You don't remember I said we would be trading Tunsil?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't remember that.
I had a whole Finsanity Friday.
Let me know in the comment section if I said that we would be trading Tunsil a month before we did. Let me know in the comment section if you remember me talking about trading Tunsil a month before we did, and people said I was crazy, and people even unsubscribed in the comment section. Let me know if you remember that.
Pull the email. Pull the receipts.
I believe you. I'm just saying I don't remember.
Let me know if you remember I said Kenyon Drake was going to be a third down back, and people got mad at me.
Yeah, that was a crazy call.
Well, I can keep going. The people that came in, so they go at all of us, man. They go at all of us in our theories, but like I always say, the only thing that matters is one thing: time will tell.
I was wrong.
Time will tell.
All I'm saying.
That should be the motto.
Hey, TD, the courtesy that I just extended to you, when all of this Josh Rosen foolishness gets settled, okay. Number one, that.
So what I be trying to tell y'all, listen, time will tell on everything.
Once this Josh Rosen foolishness is settled, and
I mean, he just don't get it, y'all. I will tell. And he's still gonna try to go with it for some reason. I have no reason why.
Here we go. Yeah, hey, I appreciate the same I send it to you. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's it.
Josh was given a bad hand. That's a bad thing. That's what it comes down to.
Stop making excuses. Stop
giving a bad hand.
Listen,
even the Browns give their quarterbacks more time to be horrible than what we giving Josh. Like, come on, this is horrible.
Stop it.
What they did to this young man. It's so sad. But I wish him the best. And I'm telling you, Josh will not be an XFL starting quarterback. He will never go to the XFL. He will find a spot on a roster. And then
well, maybe the CFL.
Nah, his ego won't let him. There's no way.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing for the Toronto Argonauts and bagging my grocery on Friday.
Yeah,
Josh Rosen thinks he's Aaron Rodgers.
No. I don't think he's another rabbit hole. We are not going down another rabbit hole. I refuse to go down rabbit holes tonight.
He's gonna be a backup. He'll be a backup.
Yeah. Hey, and listen, I don't feel sorry for him. That dude's a multi-millionaire. Come on. That dude is a multi-millionaire, and he'll be a backup. He'll be a backup on some team, and he'll be collecting them checks. millions of dollars. I don't feel sorry for him. Sorry.
I think Josh has a lot more in him than what we give him credit for. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but I do believe that the potential is there. I know Reason can go on about the tape and all that, but I'm going to be the first one to say that I see potential in this young man.
What potential? What potential do you see? From what standpoint?
No.
From what standpoint? When people say that.
EM, hold on. Do you understand? I see the potential. He could start bagging at Walgreens and he could become manager.
Rosen gonna land on his feet one day. I'm telling you.
Rosen haters are here.
Rosen is
haters are here.
Rosen is going to be okay.
Listen. Respect anybody that work at Walgreens. Hey, I'm not hating on nobody. Hey, that's an honest job, bro. That's an honest job.
Hey, and he can do it, but that guy can become manager.
Listen.
Hey, but Insanity
from being a starting quarterback in this league.
Insanity, what you said you see potential in him from what standpoint?
I believe like with anything, I believe he's competent. I believe he was given a fair shake. A bad shake. A lot of our wide receivers dropped the ball. He didn't have a good offensive line. Granted,
two throws.
No, hold up. Fitzpatrick himself had to just decide to start running the ball. You have Elijah averaging 1.7 yards per carry, so he doesn't even have a play action game that he can go to.
Two throws.
Wait, listen.
Go ahead.
Like this. Give him a running game, give him an offensive line, and he'll be okay. I think the kid's gonna be okay. What I'm saying is I see potential in him. I can see him doing this.
Insanity, they gonna hate on you because
I want to give it a shot.
I believe Josh. He was given a bad shake. He was never given a fair chance at Arizona. He was supposed to sit. The quarterback in front of him was playing horrible, got hurt, so he was thrown into the fire. And then on top of that, hold up. Can I finish? You want to keep saying things like this? Some guys have come from worse situations and now are Warner's not in the Hall of Fame yet, right? I don't think he has a check yet, but one day he'll. I don't know. You never know until you know. The greatest show on turf. He's in
the Hall of Fame.
Amazing weapons around him. Kurt Warner had amazing weapons around him.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
I'm saying give Rosen a fair shot. Give him some time. One day he'll be back. Don't worry.
Hey, before I forget.
But he's gonna get
Hey, TD. I want to give a shout out to the homie Joe. I think it's Joe B. Keaton. I think he said he found that. He said I remember when we had a debate when I first you and I had a debate on. I was coming at you after you declared you was driving down the highway and you declared Rosen our franchise quarterback after 2 throws on national TV. And you said there's no documentation that would substantiate that statement that I made. Joe found it. Joe was on there. Joe, if you in the comment section, bro, hey, hop in here real quick.
Listen, EM. If you want to EM. Hold on. Let me say, EM around here trying to claim a whistleblower. You don't want to claim who the whistleblower is.
Joe.
He lost Preston. Like, I just
all right. Listen, hey, y'all. I actually have to go. Have to go now. But listen, EM, you already know the rules. I need the video title, the date, the timestamp.
Joe found it. Don't
give me no John Doe or Joe Schmo.
No, he was in the comments tonight.
I don't care. Give me the video timestamp, and I will prove to everybody because I'll play it on the live stream, and I'll prove to everybody that some people can't even comprehend words.
We found our franchise quarterback after 2
Was he
I did not say that.
I mentioned it because I said our optimal situation we can do it.
Hold on. I never said that. I gotta go.
You understand what I'm saying? One second. Like that where you just air the ball out.
TD. Real quick. So at the end of the day, once we get this Rosen fool settled, okay, and he's no longer on the roster, all is you extend me the that I extended to you. I gave you credit. What you said, what you've been consistent about. All I'm saying is, please extend some of that my way on the air, please.
So thank everybody for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We appreciate y'all tuning in tonight.
Shout out to Joey Keith, baby.
I think this was one of the best shows that we have ever had. I appreciate all the panelists, everybody who stopped through. As always, thank you so much, Reason. Thank you, Finsanity. I appreciate you coming through, Mike. Elder Bruce Jones, as always. I love you. And whoever else is here. The guy with the whistleblower, I guess.
Esteban was on here tonight.
Esteban was on here. Vic was on here showing love, man. It was probably more too. Tony was on here. And probably more, but sorry if I missed you. But this is an amazing night, y'all. We're gonna pick up where we left off tomorrow, man. Y'all gonna see me live throughout the day. I'm gonna try to get with Reason because I know y'all want the show that they have been working on for quite some time, and we're gonna have some fun. We still didn't even we didn't talk about Taco, Clowney, running back or receivers, average or elite, Preston Williams starting QB next season. We didn't talk about corners and safeties, and we're going to start hitting some of that tomorrow. But it's been a great night. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We went in for about 4 hours and 15 minutes. Again, I love y'all to all the panelists who showed up and showed out tonight. I appreciate you, EM, for nothing, as always. But everybody else, thank y'all for all the value that you add to the channel. But for real, though, I will say this. I appreciate EM so much because he adds a lot of value to the channel. I mean, we always need some buffoonery coming through. So that we can have something to actually argue against. But it's been great, y'all. I really got to get out of here, but love y'all. All the subscribers, thank you to the new Patreon members.
Hit me up.
Everybody who donated via PayPal, via Cash App, via donation through the stream, and all the Patreon members. TD Fans Talk, we growing, y'all. Please do me a favor before y'all get out of here. Hit that like button. And let your friends and family members know about the channel. We on our road to 8,000. That's our next short-term goal. But for right now, we take it a piece at a time. 7,600 is on the way. We are only about 80 shy of that, and we can hit that in at least a week or a week and a half. So y'all help us get to 7,600 by letting your friends and family members know about the channel. Share the link and have them subscribe to TD Fans Talk. As always, I love y'all. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right now.
Peace.
All right, now we done got everybody out of the way. We'll have the real show. Peace. I'm out, y'all.